Okay. Yep. Well, hello everyone. This is to the 0 viewers we have now, but to YouTube or anybody watching this after the fact. Thank you. Thank you for clicking on the video. This is Joel. I do just another pinball stream. This was streamed. I typically stream every Wednesday at 10 to midnight Eastern Standard Time. And tonight it's all about Pinball Expo. Pinball Expo recap. Everybody here on screen was at Pinball Expo, so thought it made sense to invite some people from TPN to just talk about what all they saw, what all they played, stuff like that. So, real quick intros to right there is the one, the only Dennis Kriesel. Dennis, thank you for being here tonight.
Oh, sure. No problem.
And
thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely. Brian Kaz. Brian Kaz is the first person in chat. Hello. Brian was at Pinball Expo. It was great meeting you in person. Dennis Kriesel. So you obviously do watches with Dennis on YouTube. Feel free to look him up right now and subscribe. And then you and Tony do Eclectic Gamers podcast. I know you've already released a podcast about your experience at Expo. I have not had a chance to listen to it yet, but feel free to. Whoa, Kaz, coming in with the bits. I was like, Fliptronic is in chat as well. But Brian, thank you, man. Thank you for the support. But Dennis, let's go with what was the last pinball machine you played and how was it?
It's hard to remember what the last one I played was because I was at Expo playing a lot of stuff. I think it was Roller Disco, the old System 1 game from Gottlieb. And it was meh.
It was meh.
It was in good condition, but it's not one of the better System 1s.
Gotcha. And that was at Expo itself?
In the infamous free play area.
Yeah, I was we can talk about that. Yeah, Fox City's fault. George, I'm so sorry. Don't panic. Flip hopped in. I know. I thought you said it was going to be another half an hour before you're free, and tweaking cameras is not.
Do you need me to go so you can get him in?
No. You are all good.
Sorry, George.
Yeah.
I guess you lose.
Next week, George. Next time for sure. Yes, I think. Well, here we'll finish introductions, and then we'll get into the free play area and how much everybody enjoyed that. I probably only played pinball a total of 1 hour at Expo. More fun hanging out. Absolutely. Oh, third in chat. That's what he meant. Third in chat. Got it. And Fox City's Tom is here. Of course, Tom is here. Tom, great seeing you, buddy. The other group. So we do have 4, even though 3 cameras. The other 2 that are in here, I didn't want to mess with my font and actually put their names, so I just went with their Twitch stream. Fliptronic, Power Duo. We have Becca and Jordan. Becca, Jordan, thank you a ton for
howdy.
For being here. Yeah. So you guys drove from Texas to Chicago and back. How long was your drive?
Too long.
and
bumpy.
Let's see, 1,200 miles on the way there and almost 1,400 on the way back because we went through Nashville. So 2,600 miles total. What was that like?
That's a lot of miles.
40, nearly 40 hours of driving total.
Oh, man. Dennis, how long was your drive? You and Tony drove?
8 hours one way.
Okay. So
it's the same as me going to Frisco for TPF. It's the same drive.
Nice. You're right in that sweet spot, that middle point.
That's children's numbers right there. 8 hours drive.
Yeah. I had 3.5. So, yeah, Kaz, you're right. She is wearing those medals. We'll definitely get to that. And then don't panic, George. Here. Dennis smiles way more in person than it seems would be based on. It's all about your surroundings, right, Dennis? You say
I'm the second nicest person in pinball for a reason.
Yep, all smiles, all smiles.
It's the glee I bring to the hobby.
Dustin, Cheesy Buddha. I don't know if you guys had a chance to meet him, but Dustin was in person. Very nice guy, Dustin. Thanks for being here tonight. So, yeah, it was a lot of drives, but it was awesome. It was a Expo. Not to speak for you guys, but to actually meet all you in person and other people in chat. What an awesome chance to come together and chat it up and all that. But yeah, we'll just go ahead and knock out the negative, the free play area. Dennis, what were your thoughts on the free play area at Expo?
Well, my only real large show experience is Texas Pinball Festival, which I have attended ever since 2016. And I guess the easiest way to describe it is Expo's free play area is a pale imitation of what Texas puts on. I had been warned, so I knew going in it wasn't as good. I did not realize just how bad it would be. And that's how I would describe it. It was a bad area.
Yeah.
The only good thing there were 2 good things. That space, there was plenty of room, so I feel very claustrophobic at TPF. I have to leave the room occasionally because the sound actually gets to me. It's just too loud. It's a cacophony. And then the other challenge I had is, or the other positive I had with Expo was in the free play area, there were hardly any lines ever.
No,
So
yeah,
you could get
none.
on pretty much any game you wanted right when you wanted to. But there were maybe 6 LCD games over on that side. And it's okay that it skews older. That's part of what I like about free play areas, especially EMs. But oh my God. I mean, half the stuff, not half, but a lot of it was broken. Almost all of it was labeled as being Rob Burke's games. And they were, I'd say, it felt like he was 75% of the show and 20% of those were down at any given point. And I didn't see a lot of techs. So I was just, that was sad.
Yeah. So Deebs is asking, do you think this was due to the prices of the game of late? I don't know. I don't know. I have never been before, so I don't know if attendance was down, but it just didn't seem like a ton of people brought in games, and the games they brought really weren't in good condition.
Yeah,
I think it's free tickets.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was a mix of stuff. I did hear someone report that who had been at Expo the last time it was in person that the numbers were down. So COVID could be part of it.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that the incentive package for game bringers is not particularly impressive. At Texas, I'm gonna constantly draw comparisons to Texas, but it's only really the other one I know. At Texas, I mean, they go all out. It's like you have your free passes. They get their own special drawings to win money. They have their own content. I mean, it's a whole, like, they really try. With Expo, they got free passes to the free play area. Not even the seminars.
Oh, so it's not a free ticket. It's literally just...
It's a free... And that's all I bought was free play area. I decided I wasn't dropping $60 on seminars that are going to leak 5 minutes after they end. So
or stream them live.
And then I found out they were exactly, Becca.
Yeah,
I found out they were streaming them live. I'm like, what the heck? This doesn't make any sense. TPF doesn't charge you extra for seminars.
Yeah.
I was appalled. Not to mention 50% of them were how to maintain a game.
Yeah, I paid for seminars and I went to one, and so it was a learning experience. I don't think I'll do that again next year. But
so awkward question, Dennis. I didn't know you were at Expo. Did we not cross paths?
And I was going to say, for as open as it was, there were a lot of TPN people. No, I never saw you. I saw Becca playing in the tournament once because I went to talk to some KC people, but I couldn't talk to her. She was busy, and I didn't see you.
Oh, I feel bad. Damn.
No, don't feel too bad. You're talking to me now. We've bonded through Discord.
Yep. No, I had a chance to meet Dennis in person. It was
Joel and I only met one time and talked for like 5 minutes.
Yeah,
so.
we were busy.
Oh, okay.
That was Joel, you only went to the one seminar where you were awarded. Yeah, I went to the what was it? What's the guy's name? The guy that always wears the striped Walter Day. Walter Day had his pinball like trading cards. Aren't you guys, Jordan and Becca, didn't you guys do a trading card?
We did a card. I didn't do the thing where you filled in like a bio or whatever.
Yeah, we were supposed to do that
for the presentation. I didn't do that.
So I was there.
I just took the picture. I sold the game that we got a picture with. Actually, we both sold our games because she did Farfalla. Or no, you didn't do Farfalla, did you?
I did.
You did? Okay.
Yeah. I did Farfalla.
So After and Farfalla are gone.
Brian Cos was in there with me, and Brian did. Here we are. Like I was in there with Matt Morrison. Matt Morrison with TPN. He did his Twilight Zone. A very near and dear game to him. I did TNA, probably my favorite game. Brian Cos did Gilligan's Island because nobody had done it yet.
There.
Yeah, so Brian got his full printed. Like Walter Day was talking it up like this is a certificate of authenticity that your great grandkids will want to hang on their wall. And Brian's
Whatever
rocking,
works.
right. Brian's rocking his Gilligan's Island, but that's fine. Yeah, there were more tournament players in 2021 than 2019. That's awesome. So Fox City's Tom is in chat. A big shout out to Tom. I don't know if anybody had a chance that they were watching the stream where Tom streamed the tournament the whole weekend, but the quality, I had a chance to commentate a little bit. It was awesome. Saul Hudson's congratulating you, Becca, on that gold award. We're going to get to that. That was well earned.
Thank you.
Was well earned.
I was going to say, so on the note of the bad stuff or the weird pricing. So one of the things is that we paid for the pre-registration. And then on top, if you wanted to play in Maine, but you had already paid your like $180
140.
140. If you had already paid for your whole big thing, the tournament on top of that was another $100.
It wasn't included.
Tournament. Yep.
It was not included.
It was not included.
They did not like split the difference because the other thing that you could do was on the tournament registration, you could pay $90 to
without
have
the seminars, and then you could do the extra money for the tournament.
Yeah. So
$50, I think. So it was 140 anyway. So it basically could have been 140 for the passes in the tournament without the seminars.
Yeah.
But we got the 140 with the seminars and minus the tournament.
Yeah.
Huh.
So the math wasn't right. And so I ended up at that point, I was just like, I'm not going to pay. Jordan, I can see your toes in the camera. But your foot, that's so gross. You guys, I've been watching Jordan for the past like 15 minutes. He's just like,
hey, look, I'm here to add the weirdness.
He's like, I'm massaging my toes. And I'm like,
Look, I've been driving for hours and hours and hours.
Demonetized
for toes.
Yeah, we're going to get Jordan.
Hey, you're going to get like 50 new followers from that. So
yeah,
you're welcome.
You're going to have so many new followers for Jordan's toe touching. Anyway, so that was weird. Not the foot, the tournament pricing.
Yeah, that sounds odd. It was, yeah. I learned.
Yeah.
What the truth is, Expo is just all about the people, seeing the people, and we're gonna go through our experiences playing some of these games. But the reality is, I know I personally did not play these like for the hours and hours and hours we were at Expo. It wasn't standing behind a pinball machine. That is for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
So we'll dive into that. So we're just overall, I would say there was plenty of room. It rained almost every day, so it's not like there was a ton to walk around or do anything. So we all basically just stayed inside. It was a mask mandate technically, but that was hit or miss at best. But it was great. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun seeing each other and. But really, if you wanted to play games, the best part of the free play area was JJP. JJP had all their games in one section, and they were all achievement enabled. So if you really wanted to mess around with their achievements, there was a spot to do that up until 2 a.m. in the morning. But really, I barely played anything else in the free play area, and it sounds like you guys were in the same boat.
So I actually got to play. So one of the things that so there's the main tournament.
Mm-hmm.
There's always a main tournament, and then there are women's tournaments. And usually, women's tournaments, we get to play the things that are a little. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. And so we actually played a bunch in the free play hall because that's where we did Battle of the Bells this year, which was really fun. I had so much fun doing it. Not sure if you've ever played Orbiter 1 in a tournament setting, but I was like, this is going to be the great equalizer.
Yeah.
And I was really bad at it. And there are some really good people on Orbiter 1. So we played a bunch of the games kind of sort of in that area. One of the EMs like shorted out a coil and we couldn't figure out which one it was because it was near a whirlwind. So the whirlwind was blowing the smell everywhere and we couldn't figure out what smelled bad. So moral of the story is put your whirlwind away from your stuff that normally catches on fire. Or else you'll never.
Yeah, we walked around the free play a little bit.
Yeah.
We walked around with Brian O'Neill and Mudderfutter. And
yeah, we walked around,
games.
played some EMs. It was okay.
Nice.
It's fine. Spent more time in the vendor hall though.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, the vendor hall was definitely where it's at. Did I play GNR? I did not actually play GNR at the show, but I have played GNR before. So, Dennis, I know your initial thoughts of GNR.
Those have not changed.
Those have not changed. Yeah. Not my favorite game. Not my favorite game. But Kaz is throwing bits in here at you, Dennis, to smile. But
Smile, Dennis.
You gotta earn it.
Well, Kaz, I guess that was better than telling a woman to smile, so I'll give you some kudos for that.
Yeah, tell me to smile, Kaz. It won't go well. I smile kind of all the time, but do it. I dare you.
I smile on the inside. where
We
the joy
did-
comes from.
Kaz did see that. There was a few of us at about 2 a.m. that saw. I don't know if you guys listened to Slap Save when it was Jason Fowler and Matt McCarty. Is that right? Yeah, Matt McCarty jumped into the fountain outside at 2 a.m. Pretty great. That was awesome to see. I have a new respect for Willy Wonka though after playing the updated code. Yes, we had TPN was actually streaming. Props to George. Jedi McMuffin did a great job at it as well. We were streaming a Willy Wonka almost the whole time. That was really well
Did the
done.
Friends theme song start playing when he jumped in the fountain?
No, it looked more like Shawshank Redemption when he was like had his arms out under the rain. Yeah, it was pretty good. So let's dive in. So Stern had quite a showing. They had almost every they had every title that would be Insider Connect enabled, I think, there. But the main thing was they had a whole lot of Godzillas, both pros and premiums. And then they had Jack's Jurassic Park Homepin game. They had one of those there that you could play.
With a custom topper.
With the custom topper, yep, which was basically just Jack's face. And then they had all the other games. So they had like Deadpool Pro and Premium, Turtles Pro and Premium. They had the new Elvira 40th anniversary. That thing was
nice
there. And they were all Insider Connect enabled. So it was pretty cool to be able to play some of those. So I'm so disappointed Punny Factory. Yes, there was no Punny. So
yeah,
there was
I wanted to play that.
No Punny Factory, no Haggis, and no Spooky.
Spooky, yeah.
So they were not there. Spooky surprised me that they weren't there.
Yeah.
Because that's
Why?
what
They didn't need to be there. They sold out.
I know.
Exactly. I don't see the point either.
Bunch of sellouts.
But there's no just support. Like, I don't know, just to be there to like.
But there's nothing to sell.
Yeah, but you could still show. I don't know. Maybe you're right.
I don't understand that. I don't
The brand. They sell
Yeah, the
explain,
brand.
Joel, explain to me what the brand doesn't need it. It sells out the moment they announce anything.
Yeah. So maybe that's it's there. It's not needed.
I mean, they
but
had
it would
Godzilla LEs there. They don't need to sell Godzilla LEs.
Yeah. It was more just to just to show their stuff. I don't know, like to rep the brand. That's what I'm thinking. Oh, they went to
Now,
Allentown.
did Stern bring the LEs, or was that just like Zach? Was that
Zach
like a
had his
distributor
LE.
choosing to do that?
Yeah,
See,
I think
that's
Stern
separate.
brought a few LEs, right?
I don't
Stern
think
brought
so.
a few
No?
Premiums.
premiums.
There was in the
Premiums?
Stern
Okay.
booth. There was a few premiums. So
There were a
let's
few premiums,
well,
yeah, not LEs.
And Zach brought the LE to flex. That's
Yeah.
the only
Yeah,
reason.
of course.
yeah. So let's dive into that. So we'll just dive straight into Godzilla. Let's start with Dennis. Dennis, perfect. That's a great intro.
That's my Godzilla roar.
Had you played Godzilla before Expo?
The Pro. Only
You had
the Pro.
played the Pro. Okay. So just initial thoughts of the Pro when you first played it, and then what were your thoughts of the Premium when you played it at Expo?
I thought the Pro was a great game. I actually would prioritize getting Godzilla over Jurassic Park at this point, which would be the most likely Stern I would buy. And after playing the Premium, I'd want the Premium instead. That's too bad the price went up. So yeah, the Premium's better. I mean, just for the diverter in the building alone, it just gives you so many different returns. I just think it makes it a more enjoyable experience.
I am 100% in agreement with you.
Yep.
The Pro is a great game. The Pro shoots incredibly well, and it's fun to shoot. It is really fun to shoot. But the Premium though, those Premium toys and mechs are impressive.
Worth it.
Hey, go ahead, Dennis. Explain. I don't know. Thought overall the mechs. I mean, you shot them now. Let's break down the actual Godzilla mechs and I don't know what you saw or how.
Well, I mean, the nice thing is both models have the most important mech, which is the Newton ball magnet, and it does get a whole lot of use on the Pro. In fact, it's getting so much use on the Pro, they're making new rules and code changes because that magnet is getting too hot on the Pro models. Obviously, the center building and its collapse to release the main multi-ball is interesting, but I think more impactful, as I noted, is actually the diverters, not the ball lock, the physical ball lock itself.
Yeah.
So that's the part I really appreciate. I'd say my second favorite premium mech would be the Mechagodzilla. It's just fun to shoot that little ramp up and get him in his little tummy. He's got his little tummy. He got his tummy rage.
Yeah.
He's got tummy rage going on. And the most disappointing is not the right word, but The bridge mech not used too much. The collapsing bridge.
Yeah, I don't think
I could
they-
take it, or I
yeah.
could take or leave that. That caught my eye on the trailer, but it's just not used very much, and I don't think it ever will be. So that one, it's cool, but it's not. I would never buy the premium for the bridge mech.
The bridge mech, I agree. When I saw the initial reveal stream, they had turned up, and somebody said that somewhere, like they turned up the difficulty to get to the bridge multi-ball or whatever the bridge thing is. They turned it way up because I don't think it's coded. I don't think it's in the game yet.
And I
The
could
bridge
be wrong.
multi-ball?
And
Yeah, it is.
You got the bridge multi.
Yeah, I got bridge.
Did you see the
multi-ball.
bridge? Because the way they advertise the bridge, like I saw it where if you hit it, it
It splits.
moves. It does.
Yeah, so when you
split.
damage it, it wiggles.
Yeah.
And then when you start it, it comes out the building, and when it would normally go across, it then drops it.
Okay.
And then you start your multi-ball stuff.
So yeah. Well,
it's a cool visual, but the other mechs I feel are more impactful.
Well,
in
it's
terms
all
of
about
gameplay.
that state
meowing
change,
cat.
right? It's all about that
You're
state
gonna go
change,
get her?
and that. What I will say is, after playing the pro, you can backhand. I mean, hitting the spinner, the Mechagodzilla spinner, it's a fun shot. It's not a bad shot. It's not clunky. Like it feels good. The challenge is the way that Mechagodzilla multi-ball's coded is after you hit that shot so much, it charges him up and it creates a force field, and then you have to break the force field. Well, on the premium or LE, the whole thing turns. And now those targets are like right in your face, and it's relatively easy to hit those targets. On the pro, there's no movement, there's no turning. So the 3 targets are the spinner, the shot you've already been hitting, but now there's 2 targets that are on the left side of that bank, and those targets are not easy to hit, not at all.
And I think that's pretty consistent for typically, I feel pros play more brutal than premium and LEs. So I don't think that's deliberate. I just think it's a side effect of all features and mechanisms usually simplify and slow the game down. So
makes sense. And the building mech definitely does slow the game down due to its movement. But you brought up a really good point, Dennis. The actual collapse in the spinning, the dropping of the balls for the multi-ball is neat. But the fact that it goes from 1 to 2, and now all of a sudden when you're hitting you're hitting your ramp shots, but now they're going to different flippers based on what stage you're in, that's awesome. That is really really
you just think a little more.
You
I
do.
think it's healthy for these pinheads. They need to start doing a little bit of that.
Yeah, and I don't know. I'm not used to it yet because on the pro, and this would be the first level of the building. If you hit the right ramp, you think it's going to return to your right flipper, but it doesn't. Actually, no, it does. It does. You think it would, like, it hits the right ramp, and then it comes down, around, it goes through the building, so then you think it's going to the left, but then it does a U-turn, it hangs back right, and goes to your right flipper. So it actually feeds you to combo into the left flipper. So you could, like, combo ramps, at least on a pro all day, but on a premium, depending on where you're at, it's going to feed the same flipper. So let's go Fliptronic. Jordan and Becca, they bought a premium. They had bought a premium.
Yep.
Ooh.
Yeah, they bought a premium.
Yeah,
and
we just can't stop.
And they were actually able to take one home from the show, so they drove it all the way home from Chicago. You said you had gone to Nashville. That's because you actually streamed with Joe Hills, who's a
last night.
Quite a big Twitch streamer in the Minecraft world. But that's awesome that he invited you guys in. And initial impressions now that you own the pin and shot the premium way more than most. What are your thoughts?
Well, Possumzilla is trying to get away.
Oh, it's super fun. It is like we got to play the pro. I liked the pro. I think we played like 2 games on the pro, and I really enjoyed it. And
it wasn't even a well set up pro because it was at Interium.
Yeah, and it wasn't. I mean,
arcade.
Yeah, it wasn't
Like the left flipper was droopy.
like by a hair. It
was hard to make that ramp.
It wasn't too droopy compared to like some of the droop flipper.
Well, it was on.
games
It
that
wasn't.
I've played.
The flippers weren't centered.
And then we played 1 game on Zach's LE, and I was like, Jordan, we need this.
Yeah.
1 game.
We need
That's all it
this.
took.
We need this, and we need it now. And so, it shoots really well. It's fun to shoot, and I like games. I mean, I like a game that's fun to shoot, and I mean it. You can shoot things backwards and forwards, and things like it's everything goes every certain way,
Yeah,
and
it's a lot of unique shots,
it's
like
super different.
which is nice. So, yeah, we just set it up. Just got it home, and I set it up like an hour before this.
Yeah, it's we'll take a look here. I don't know. I don't know what to say. So here's obviously the premium, but this game, I know I heard it on a podcast before, and I think it was George Gomez. Somebody said, if you can have fun shooting a whitewood, you know you have a good game. Like, if you're not going to rely on theme, if you're not going to rely on code, if you're not going to rely on music, if you can have fun just shooting the pin, you're going to have a good game. And absolutely, this game, the shots that it has in here are great. And I looked at this and I was like, wow. So Keith Elwin, who's a high-end competitive player, probably the best competitive player of all time, stuck a very critical mech dead center of his game, and that's a multi-ball. I was surprised. I thought that would be a layup. If you actually really look here, this shot is a lot tighter than you realize. I don't know if you guys experienced that, but there are some blue rubbers right here. That actual opening is not near. It's not a gimme. It is not a gimme shot at all. Dennis, do you agree with that, or you're just drilling it? You're just.
I didn't seem to have too much trouble getting that shot.
Dennis is just
I have an easy time forehanding it. Backhanding it was a little different.
Yeah, and it was mostly forehands for me as well. But yeah, I mean, I don't view it as like right ramp Led Zeppelin tight, but it's not a wide shot, so
true.
You do have to make it relatively clean, but it's not. I mean, I'm still thinking back to like
banana ramp AIQ where you can hit it from all three flippers.
Right.
But I'm pretty sure also if you nail any of the stuff on the inside, it also impacts the integrity of the building.
Yeah, the damage,
counts as a bash. Yeah, Turin just said that, but it is harder than I was initially expecting. But it's good. I mean, I think it's a good shot. It's got plenty of. I mean, it's far enough back that if you do hit one of these stand-ups or hit something, the ball comes back at you. You got plenty of time to react. But what is neat is when you hit that shot, it zips around here so fast, and that magna grabs it. So it's just a really visually such an enjoyable shot to go back, comes up, and then the magna grabs it, and it goes whoop back here in this, and then drops down to this flipper. And just like every other third flipper, I mean, just nailing this loop over and over again.
It's pretty satisfying. Loop.
I think my best is 3 in a row. Dennis, have you beat that?
3 or 4. Let's say 3. I don't think I beat it.
There's apparently if you do 6 in a row, you get something. It's like an extra ball or something. Like that's built into the game. But it's a fun shot. I will say this shot to the right, and I know it's hard to see with all these. This is a pretty open shot. This is a shot that I was able to see from right hand, or you can backhand this shot, and you can hit it with the left flipper. So this shot, and it loops back around.
It's like the center spinner.
Yeah, it feeds really well. It's not Houdini kind of hard shot. No, it's not. Joel, how did I miss Din Din at Expo? Jobber, I don't know. That's a question for Dennis. Not he was there. Yeah.
Blame Expo for not giving everyone lanyards.
There
Another fatal flaw versus TPF.
Yeah. There we go. But the loops are fun. But this shot, this right ramp, you cannot backhand it. I mean, you definitely have to hit it from the left ramp. You don't have to have crazy speed. This is a shot that I was surprised you can rattle it up in there, and it'll work its way around. The left ramp, on the other hand, you have to hit this left ramp clean. You cannot backhand.
Pretty similar to that AIQ ramp, the right orbit ramp.
Oh yeah, because this is a
just
direct
left orbit this time,
vertical 180. And you have to hit it from the right ramp, and it has to be clean. And so to feed your mode, you have to hit both ramps. And at least what I've experienced so far, the left ramp is the one that you got to work at. You really have to focus in on and get that. But what I was saying earlier, if you hit this left ramp with your right flipper here, it's going to go up, come through. It's going to go across the playfield, whip around. So it's going to the right. You think it's coming to your right flipper. Nope, it goes back to the left, which allows you then to kind of combo into the right ramp. So you could actually combo ramps back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, which is pretty great. I don't know. I mean, this game has nothing but love, right? From a lot of people. I will say the art, this I don't really I don't know. I thought it looked way better in person. Like it was not, I don't know.
You could just use a repaint. It's a little bright.
It's a
You
little
don't
bright.
notice it when you're playing.
Yeah, you don't really
You don't
Dennis,
notice when you're playing.
I know you had feelings towards the art. Did that opinion change at all when you saw it in person, or not so much?
No,
Nope.
but I don't buy games off of art. I think it'll look great in your Marvel lineup.
Yeah, that would work. So that's the premium. What I was talking about with the Pro, this is what I was saying here. If you look, so you hit this right spinner here, and then when you actually have a target, if you can see my mouse right there. I mean, it is directly on the left side of that, and there's really no way to you can't backhand it. Even backhanding this kind of front target is difficult, and you don't have that problem on the premium, because the premium, the whole thing rotates and it rotates towards you. So we talked, but that makes sense because this whole mech right here rotates, and then the targets are right in your face. But I don't know. The code is what, 0.8, and the code, so it's only going to get better. They're only going to add more to the game. But man, I had a ton of fun just shooting the game, experiencing the shots. Yeah, like Dennis said, the Mechagodzilla was way more enjoyable than I was expecting, and I was almost annoyed at how much I really enjoyed playing that game because
now
How
you're
dare
gonna
the
have to
machine be
you're gonna
good.
have to sell your toidles.
I know, but it sucks because everything's so. I mean, everything's so much more expensive. But the reality is, just like you said, Dennis. If I'm gonna buy one, I think you gotta go premium. You gotta go premium.
I would be hard pressed after playing the. I mean, the Pro's a fun game, so I guess.
Yes.
But I'd always feel that I settled. But many of my pinball decisions have been settling too, so
Yeah.
I can't say I'm above it.
Okay.
Did you see some of the music settings for Godzilla?
Well, obviously the Blue Oyster Cult song could become. You could have issues, right, with DMCA.
Well, at least in the main theme of it, you can change it between orchestral or rock, or like a mix, a hybrid. So there's basically a music theme running throughout the game, and you can go mix, or if you just want rock music, you can do just rock music, which I thought was pretty cool. You can actually set the tone for the whole machine.
Yeah. I do know competitively there are some bugs in the game right now, so I'm pretty sure it's, Dennis, you may know better than me, but it's pretty much multi-ball all day, and then as of right now, it's multi-ball.
Yeah,
all day.
I mean, I'm not a big time competitive player. My basic understanding is if you want to have a mode and go into multi-ball ideally, and so you might want to do like Gigan first or something, and then maybe do a multi-ball with one of the harder modes. And we still need to see what cities are going to do. I did encounter a bug at Expo. My game reset on me on ball 3, and I heard that happened to some other folks too.
You're just blowing it up, huh? That's what it was. No,
I was winning. Yeah. I was winning, and the other player said, "Well, I guess." Well, no, I guess I was losing, but I had a plan. I was ready to start my multi-ball.
Perfect.
And they said, "Well, we just have to remember what the last scores were and just leave it at that." So,
well, were you? This is a decent transition. Were you connected? Did you use your phone and Insider
I
Connect
did on that one. I think I
Yeah.
got a bloop. I call them blooks. I think I got a bloop.
Oh, the bloop where it comes up and
from
says you did
Xbox,
something.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I got one I thought for loops or something, but I don't remember. I saw it pop up, and I remembered to set my cell phone down on the thingy and let it get scanned.
Well, there you go.
That's the only time I did it. I didn't do any other achievements at the. I didn't do any score bid or any of the other strings.
ton of achievements.
That's all Jordan did.
Well,
you want to
when
talk
Becca-
to Insider Connected?
When Becca abandoned me for the women's team
I did
tournament,
not abandon you. There were
I
other
went to the-
people there.
I went to the Stern floor and I played a bunch of stuff and got Elvira achievements, Black Knight achievements, even some on Turtles.
Yeah.
I was actually on the leaderboard for a short time on Turtles.
I thought that was pretty neat, to be honest. Just going game to game and just even though I wasn't focusing too much, it was just like, well, I might as well show that I've played this game and played this game. And they did have a kind of an internal tournament going. They had a TV set up to show the high scores of every game that was connected there in the Stern booth, which was pretty cool. I got the achievement. Okay, the dumpster fire. I wonder what game that's in. How do you feel about layout rules difficulty on Godzilla? I get frustrated sometimes playing Jurassic Park. I don't. What I will say is when I stepped up to the game, there was no shot that it's like, oh, this is a fan layout, I should just be able to drill this shot. Every shot felt unique to this game, to me personally. But after playing a few games, I'm not really having issues finding them.
We were playing Joe Hills last night. We were just playing for the heck of it. We didn't even try progressing, really.
Yeah, we weren't like trying on progression. And like, honestly, like, y'all know Jordan's opinion about Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Like, that was out of here.
But I mean, I think it's probably going to be similar with this because it is pretty linear in the fact of like, it's less like Jurassic Park and more like Deadpool. Because you have like your first 4 monsters you have to battle, then you get a second tier of monsters you have to battle to get like a wizard mode. So it's just reminiscent of Deadpool battles.
Yeah, that makes sense now that you're saying it. Dennis, which do you find more difficult, this or Jurassic Park, layout wise?
Well, I mean, I have a lot more time on Jurassic Park than this. I think they were about on par. Godzilla might be a little easier. You know, it's like Elwyn's layouts I don't think are overly difficult. I think he actually leans more the other way, kind of long players.
Yeah.
It's a lot less cramped up front than it is.
Right. Well, I'm just like thinking like Turtles, which I think is an incredibly brutal layout. And like Elwyn seems to avoid that to that degree. I thought Jurassic Park was a shorter player than Iron Maiden was. So I thought he started to, because there were a lot of that was the biggest complaint I remember with tournament players who loved the rules for Iron Maiden was just, oh my God, it was such a long player. And, you know, in the tourney scene, it gets, I mean, I get very annoyed with long players in tournaments. It just, because tournament organizers can't ever coordinate their times properly anyway, and everything runs long.
Yeah.
So the last thing you need is baby's first pinball machine in the tournament.
I was mainly thinking about frustration trying to reach visitor center. I mean, I will tell you, I do not know yet what all you have to do to reach whatever, but I mean,
it's probably too soon to say.
There's a lot when you go to pick your battle, right? I mean, they're showing 4 monsters right now, but then there's like 3 grayed out boxes next to it. I don't know if that's
the tier 2 monsters after you defeat the 4.
So it's
you only have to complete a certain percentage of each monster to be able to unlock tier 2.
Yeah.
So you don't have to like fully complete all the tier 1s. You just have to like get a couple shots on each.
Gotcha.
And you'll start to unlock the tier 2 guys.
I think there's going to be a lot of depth here. I think there's a lot that's not coded in yet, and the game I don't know of anybody that's beaten it or been anywhere close right now.
Well, I know what is it? During the tournament, Escher got like 1.8 billion on it.
Yeah, well, I saw that in another chat that there's an actual bug with this destruction jackpot. There's this destruction jackpot shot that there can be a multiplier on it that's not supposed to be on it. And so there's a way to exploit that and get stupid points.
Yeah, because the destruction has a multiplier of how many other destructions you've done.
Yeah.
And you get a destruction by completing a multi-ball.
Yeah.
So that's probably, maybe it goes crazy after you do a certain amount of multi-balls.
Have you talked about how pretty the game is in person? No. I mean, it is. I think it looks great. I'm not complaining about it at all. Eric Stone got 2 billion on his first game. Well, that makes sense. That guy's like really good. How would one do that so they could avoid it? Terrible. Oh, you're saying how would one do the destruction jackpot? I don't remember what you hit. There's something on the playfield. There's something that you hit enough times to light destruction jackpot, and then you end up hitting the building here. It spits it out. It holds the ball, kind of like in Avengers where it holds it in that tower, but instead of counting down, beep, 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 it just drops it. I don't know the timing yet.
Yeah,
so it drops it, and you have your destruction jackpot. Like it tells you.
Yeah,
it's like destruction jackpot points.
After a multi-ball is done, the building is lit. The center shot on the building is lit.
Okay.
Red. You hit that, it'll do its U-turn, and the magnet will grab it, and then it'll say, destruction jackpot's ready. And it's basically the scoring is based off of your multi-ball total times how many other destruction jackpots you've done.
And that's where
that
you
is
can
how
get
that feature
those
works.
crazy points. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Well,
I read through all the rules last night on Tilt forums.
Yeah, I haven't dove into them at all. Dove? I don't know. I need to look a lot more into it, but it's I think this is a game that's going to be talked about a lot because it is It's really good, and I did not meet a single person at Expo that tried it for the first time and wasn't impressed. What did Tony think, Dennis? I think he's kind of hard to please. Did he like it?
Yeah. Greatly preferred the premium.
Yeah, it's
I don't think he'd settle for a pro if he was in the market.
Yeah, it is. It's really good. It's very, very.
I mean, this is our first premium. It was the only one that convinced us to get a premium.
Yeah,
for anything.
It is well done. So Insider Connect, you're saying, Dennis, that was the only one you did, while Jordan, you were all about it. I'm still in. I'm still in on it. I'm excited about it. I'm excited to have it in the home use. Apparently Stern.com is not what yeah. Are you finding, Jordan, that you and Becca are still doing it at home? Like logging in every time?
I mean, it's been an hour. So
yeah, we haven't logged into it yet. Since
we haven't logged into it
we were
yet.
logged in when we played at Joe Hill's house.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's transition here to the affordable home games. You know, the affordable ones. Being
I like affordable.
being that the other ones are not affordable.
Air quotes, it is affordable.
Yeah, I think it's
for pinball.
That's
for pinball,
hilarious. Yeah.
I guess.
So
pinball, yeah.
Jurassic Park Homepin. Dennis, did you touch it? Did you have a chance to play it? You did not play it.
Didn't even see it.
They had one. I was surprised.
I heard it was the prototype.
Yeah.
Okay, so have we heard anything what the differences would be between the prototype and the real thing?
I didn't read up enough to know the difference. Besides the topper, I don't know.
There's not going to be much differences. I think it was just they don't have any produced ones to put on the floor yet.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So they just had Jack's personal final
the
run
one that
prototype.
he's been messing with and tweaking.
Yep.
All right. Jordan, how about you go? Dennis hasn't played it. What were your thoughts? You had already ordered one before you even.
We had already ordered one, yes. Which in retrospect, maybe we shouldn't have because we got the Godzilla, but whatever. More pins, the merrier. Who needs downsizing anyway?
Yeah.
We actually, we got into the vendor hall before it opened. And so nobody was in there. We were helping P3's multimorphic set up, and Zach set up a little bit. And then I wandered over there, found Jack Danger, and I was like, hey, can we play your pin? Is it here? And so, he walked over with us and showed us, and we got to play with him for 30 minutes or so.
Yeah.
Something like that. And he was describing everything and the processes and what he was trying to do originally and what kind of changed and what happened, and beat him at his own game. So there was that.
Nice.
I don't think he was trying.
I know he wasn't. We were just kind of farting around, but it was fun. It's actually a really, really fun shooter. That right ramp is way faster than you think it is.
Yep.
That thing is blazing speed, but you can get some sweet combos set up. Even when the ball drops, doesn't make that jump. It's still pretty neat, pretty satisfying. The rules are obviously pretty simple, but also doing the whole right orbit to left and dead flipping into the
raptor pin. Yeah.
Raptor pin is really cool.
So they didn't have that set up right when we were doing it.
Yeah, it was a little unlevel,
I was able to experience that. So what we're talking about is when you plunge, if you hold down the left flipper, instead of it catching and dropping down these drop targets, it'll keep going. Well, after it gets past this, drop the left flipper so that it's pointed down, and that ball will have enough momentum to come down, bounce off of this left flipper, hit this right flipper, and then it actually bounces up and rolls right into this raptor pin. It does it all on its own, and it will go back there and hit that target. I don't know. I tried it probably 3 or 4 times, and it worked maybe 50% of the time. It was pretty
it felt
neat.
like a cornerstone pin.
Yeah, it was really well done. I think it fits the need of having a game with a simpler rule set, with our ongoing collection. Also, Dakota Mike, just get another cabinet and just put it in a Spike 2 and you'll be fine.
That's what we're
going to try to do.
I mean, you can't. There's no way to add credits, right?
There's I don't think there's any way to add credits, but I just want it to be a full size. I mean, even the cabinet as it wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
You can tell the head's a little bit shorter and whatnot, but
it's not bad.
It overall felt like a real cabinet.
It surprises me. It's not that much smaller. That's the thing, that it's I don't know. In my mind, it's why didn't you just put it in a real cabinet? It's not that much different, but obviously the material
little bit helps. And they're doing MDF, so that's probably
that
saving them quite a bit of money.
I would say that, yes. My overall view on it is it's shot great. I really enjoyed the shots. I had a lot of fun shooting it. Didn't try to dive too much into the code, but hitting this triple drop down bank, and then it goes up in a 180 ramp. The ball holds in its mouth, and then he spits it out. I mean, it's all cool. It looks great.
She spits it out?
Oh, that's right. The girl. Yep, the girl.
Is it a raptor or is it a T-Rex?
It doesn't matter. They're all
She
female.
spit it out. Yep. My only complaint was that screen is small. The screen is there's no denying that. The screen on
Yeah,
the,
but how
on
often
the
were you
game is
looking at the
small.
screen, man?
True. But when you look
With
up
this
and you
game, it's
realize
just like hit the same shots over and over and over
yeah,
and over.
you don't need
You
direction
just gotta
in
know how
this
many
game.
you need.
Speaking of money, I wish the screen was bigger. It's funny because I don't think a smaller LCD is actually even cheaper than a larger one. Dakota Mike, good point. I don't know. I don't know why they went with that. My only true complaint, like true annoyance with the game, is the lockdown bar. The lockdown bar here is metal until you get to the ends. Right here on the left and right, those are plastic caps. And your palm of your hand goes right there on that seam. And so to feel plastic transition to metal, I don't know. That's my only complaint. So the fact that you guys are getting one and considering moving it to a real cabinet, all for it. I think that would make complete sense. But the reality is, if somebody made this lockdown bar all metal, I think people would buy them. It just, to me, it's like the things that are most important in your game is where your body is physically touching the game. I mean, everybody tore into Thunderbirds because the buttons hurt you, right? I mean, it's just...
those buttons are hazardous.
Yeah.
They are straight hazardous.
Yeah, that was my biggest complaint, but maybe that's nitpicking. I mean, maybe that's the reality is the game itself and the way it shoots.
No, I pinched my
all
finger
good.
on one of the edges.
Oh,
I don't even remember. To
But
be honest, I guess it wasn't that big of a deal to me that I didn't even notice.
yeah.
no, I think you were too excited about how it shot. But like I pinched my finger on the edge, which I'm not surprised about at all.
Yeah,
So.
on that, which is just, I don't know.
It's also, again, a prototype.
We'll see. Yeah,
Like-
that would be awesome if it's actually metal, or if the way that those caps are on is different. But to me, it's just one of those. I understand this is supposed to be an affordable home game, and they're supposed to be saving every penny possible. But that to me is one of those. I wish they would pay that like a little bit extra to make it feel, real or better. But yeah. So Dennis, you missed out on that. You missed out on the feel of a
I
plastic.
probably missed
metal.
out on a lot of things, but that's okay.
Yeah, but that's all right. But I don't know. Any other thoughts on his pin here? Just another pinball. Goran, how you doing, buddy? Goran, you would have been very disappointed with the toppers. None of them were real. They were all plastic displays that talked about Insider Connect. Yeah. Any other thoughts? Any other thoughts on?
I know the Homepin's going to have the integration with the original Jurassic Park topper.
Which is neat.
So I'll be interested to see what they build out for that.
Yeah.
No.
No, what?
No, I don't know. No more buying things.
But Cactus Canyon Remake
I
had
don't
a
know.
topper. Yes.
This isn't about like what we
Yes.
need to buy. I'm just talking about
Oh,
in general.
okay.
We're reviewing here, Becca, not what we're deciding
Not
to get.
shopping?
Yeah, we're not shopping.
You guys, it's been a really long week of shopping.
It has.
There was plenty of stuff to buy. That's for sure.
I bought a name tag
There we go. Did you get one of those that scroll?
Oh, the little digital name tags. Oh
because
my
I didn't
God.
have a lanyard. I felt like I needed something that had my. Unfortunately, I didn't do it till the last day, so I
Yeah.
spent a whole $25
Yeah.
on what I could have bought online for 10. And that's it.
Well,
It was
it?
worth it.
they were really cool. I was jealous of those. I thought about
I've already
buying it.
reprogrammed it to do my own fonts and stuff. So
Nice. Dennis got an overpriced Harbor Freight tape measure. What? No, those were cool. The little DMD things were really cool. But yeah, overall, I mean, Stern, I think that they put on they represented themselves well. They had plenty of different seminars. I didn't go to any of the seminars, but they did a lot of different how we did this. They gave a whole bunch of stuff. I know Nick the Pinsomniac, he won a banner because he went to one. Insider Connected, every time I tried it, it worked. Like it just boop. I mean, it worked perfectly. So really no complaints there.
They were also giving out shirts for logging into one of the games at Expo and logging into one of the games at Logan Arcade during their Logan Arcade meetup night thing. So if you
Yeah.
had both badges, you got a free shirt.
Did you get your
They
shirt?
Sure.
ran out of
We-
shirts.
We might have sent our QR codes to somebody who was there.
Gotcha. Yeah, I got my little badge. And I know. Well, never mind, Dennis. You said you logged in once, so you should be.
Yeah, once.
You should have your insider
Unless the
badge.
crash, that was the one that crashed. So I don't know if I lost my
Oh,
achievement.
Yeah, good point. All right, well, Stern, check. To be 100% honest, what I was very excited about, or one thing that I was really looking forward to trying, was the P3. And I officially had a chance to try one. Jordan and Becca, I know you guys own one. Dennis, did you have a chance to play one, or did you attempt to play one when you were there?
Yeah, I played the 2 games they had.
They had Heist and they had Sorcerer's Apprentice. What were your thoughts? What were your thoughts or takeaways on your experience with the P3?
Mine or Jordan
Yes.
and Becca's?
Well, I know theirs is not unique
He knows
to
our opinion.
theirs is not
We
unique
bought-
to Expo. They have
we
one
have
in
one.
their
We have
house.
one.
Yeah.
It's in there.
Yeah.
Well, it's the first time for both of those games for me. I'll start with Heist, which is the second one I played, and I would say Heist is the best P3 game that the entire system has. I think that easily is the best.
Yeah.
I think it has a very 90s sort of Williams feel to the rules. I think the way they incorporated the imagery over the screen makes it feel busy enough without letting you notice that there's a whole big screen and they're not really animating it. So the way they'd have the little pop-ups of the characters, I thought it was really clear rules. The only gripe I have with Heist would be the decision to use a separate flipper button rather than stage flipping for that upper third flipper. This is not unprecedented, though. You know, Starship Troopers was the same way. So it's something you can learn, but I think for a lot of hardcore pinheads, it's going to feel alien to have to do that.
I believe they said they can code that in, though.
I hope they do.
It is a dual leaf switch for one of them. So you should be able to do stage and do it all in one flipper. They just got to code it in, I think.
It's up to them if they're really going to.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, the answer whenever anyone complains about anything with P3 is, oh, well, we could always change that with code, and then they don't. So, you know, if they want to, they can. I don't think it's going to affect their sales if they do that or not. People, you've got bigger problems of the reason why people aren't buying Heist is because they don't want to use a second flipper button. I mean, Sorcerer's Apprentice did not like it. Thought the concept was good. Animation, use of the screen made it felt like a Commander Keen shareware game from the 90s or a phone game. I was pretty disappointed. Sound package was pretty disappointing. The concept is okay, like the RPG of going to a place, getting your spell, but it feels like you really notice when you're getting nothing if you're not making the shots, and that's what that game's all about. It's like, hey, you didn't hit your spell shot. You suck. You get nothing. And you're just like, and it's quite a bit of you need a lot of accuracy to kind of go and get into that dungeon with your spell and then to use it. And don't forget those buttons. Gotta remember to use the right buttons at the right time. So that one's just a little too video gamey for me. If I had the Cosmic Kart Racing module, I might buy it only out of sheer desperation to feel like I'm getting my money's worth out of the system. But that game can't possibly move units.
So okay. Yeah, I don't think anybody maybe I'm totally wrong, but I don't think anybody played Sorcerer's Apprentice at Expo and that was the tipping point. That was like, I need this game in my life. I could be wrong, but it's
definitely a supplemental game.
Yeah. And it's $300, compared to whatever, to $2,500, $3,000 for a whole module, for Heist or something like that. But it's my initial impression, one, the game does not move. Like, you try to nudge the game and you are moving, not the game. So the game is heavy. The game is heavy, and there's no and the game's challenging. I mean, every game that I played, I actually had a chance to play some games at Scott Denise's house, so we flopped out some modules, and every game I played was a challenge. They were not easy by any means, but I was very impressed with how the flippers felt. I know that was a big concern, that the flippers, you look how the mechs are with linkages and whatnot. Flippers felt fine. I had no complaints at all with how the flippers felt. I have definitely felt worse flippers in, like other modern games. I did not have any issues with how the flippers felt, how the slings felt. I enjoyed the way it shot, and when you started finding the shots, linking things up, I really mechanically had no issues with the game. I totally agree with you, Dennis. Heist is absolutely the best game they have. That crane mech is very impressive. The crane mech is...
You didn't like Barnyard, Joel?
Barnyard is
so
neat,
good.
but it's not... Yeah, that's...
I've seen people have a lot of fun with Boneyard, but they were all very, very intoxicated. All the P3 mechs are solid. Jerry's engineering skills are not questioned, in my mind, cannot be questioned. He might be the best engineer in pinball. But there's something about the games, broadly speaking, that just cannot motivate me. Heist, though, would come close, but not at $10,000. It's not a $10,000 game.
I mean,
and that's how I have to look at it.
100%. If you have $10,000 right now, I mean, I think all of us thoroughly enjoyed Godzilla.
Right,
Premium.
right, exactly. And that would be the thing. You would be asking me, Dennis, do you want to buy Heist or do you want to buy Godzilla Premium and have some money in your pocket still? Based off our discussion, you don't need me to answer that. You know my answer.
Kind of how I looked at it before, and then I started looking at it in a couple different ways as far as playing all the different little mini games and like supplemental games with it. It became more of a payoff, but then also as a boilerplate homebrew machine. I think it has a lot of capabilities, and so that's really what sold me. Was like, I want to create games, and all I needed to do is pick up Unity, and I can create games with an existing module.
And the homebrewers sing its praises. I mean, I correspond with Nick Baldridge all the time. He has done homebrew, like building his own electromechanicals and stuff, and he loves doing it on the P3.
Yeah,
he loves it.
It seems. I mean, it makes total sense that platform is built for people to create and add to that way more so than buying any other pin and trying to retheme it. Tear down the playfield, whatever.
But for me, someone so lazy who's probably not going to develop their own game because I'm far too busy doing other stuff. That's my excuse. It's really just laziness.
Yeah.
I mean, my issue is, and I think I've talked about this privately with Joel before. I know Tony and I have discussed it on Eclectic Gamers before. It's just, it's kind of, you have to, in my mind, you have to be sure that you want to adopt the system because, as Jordan pointed out, you're getting these other pieces. The add-ons are a lot more affordable. You can really get a lot of economy of scale going once you've decided to commit on the initial $10,000. However, it's not like there's a huge market out there for, let's say you hate the Cosmic Kart Racing module. There's not like hundreds of people waiting to buy it off of you. You basically have to unload the entire system if you want out of it. And if you put in a ton of money adding a bunch of modules and you got sick of it, I just think it's going to be hard to move. So
potentially,
and literally because of the weight. But sorry, no more weight jokes on pinball machines. But
that thing is ridiculous.
So whereas if I got sick of a Godzilla or a Deadpool or whatever, it's going to be so easy to offload that game to someone, and it's not going to be like, well, I'm giving up I'm giving up 20 games at once if I do it, and I can't piece it out, so not practically speaking. So
what you do is you get a couple of friends to also buy P3s, and you all buy one module each, and then you just kind of switch them around with each other, and you're good.
Yeah, that
could work.
By the way, we have Goran, who is, to be honest, like when I think of toppers, Goran's love of toppers is ridiculous, and then we have flipping out Zach. So we have two topper kings really battling out. But I thought we decided a few weeks back that Dennis, I thought you were the topper.
They are more topper princelings, really.
Yeah. So really, P3, I agree. Heist was a ton of fun, but my main takeaway from this weekend was there was no red flag. There was nothing like, nope, can't do this. Can't, like, I hated this, or, this rubbed me the wrong way. Nothing. It was all great. Like, I thoroughly enjoyed my experience with the P3. Was it enough for me? I'm in a position where I would have to sell stuff to buy that. And currently there's nothing I've played on the P3 that, as a game standpoint, is more enjoyable than what I currently own. With that said, though, when this next module comes out, which is supposed to be themed, which is going to have music by Scott Denisi, if that really was an amazing theme and a great game, and that was enough to push me in the system, then I could absolutely see myself also buying Heist. At that point, Heist is a steal, right? At $2,500, like, it is a good game, but it's not a $10,000 game in my mind right now. I don't know. Those are my thoughts. Does
Yeah,
P3
it's hard.
a
You have to
topper?
disassociate it as a $10,000 game because it's technically not. So yeah, it's really hard to separate it out as like the system and
Yeah.
the modules.
Well, you, Jordan, are planning on using the system. Lazy Dennis over here is not going to. So
No. To me, the system is just another. It's just another game.
sure.
There's an initial upfront investment that is necessary, and there's
Yeah.
no way around it. And it's high.
Yeah.
Now, to P3's advantage, all these other games keep going up in price. P3 keeps looking like a better and better deal, so long as they can continue to hold the line and not raise their prices as well.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
It's also, since it's so modular, there's probably things that we haven't thought about or seen that could be done with it that would be worth it. But again, until those exist, that it's going to be probably pretty niche for most people, I guess, which is fine. Like, I mean, it's just another option. Doesn't have to be the, everyone has to have it kind of pinball game. So,
yeah, I will say there were a few other TPN people that bought them this weekend.
Yep.
They were very impressed with the overall thing, and one of the guys, I don't want to say their names because I don't want to spoil. I know some people like oh, a new pin's coming. What is it? So, but one of the guys basically was saying, I only have room for one pin, and the current pin that he has is worth a lot of money. So he knows he could sell it in probably a day. And so, if
he's not a streamer.
He isn't, but he
doesn't stream.
Yeah, but that was his rationale. I only have room for one pin. My current pin, I'm done with. I can sell it tomorrow, and it'll easily cover it. And this is going to give me a lot of options for my one space, which makes total sense. And then we have other people that are smart and motivated, like Jordan, that want to make things for the P3. So it's hard to do that. When's the P4 coming? Ray Day, how you doing, buddy? Raymond, another person I had a chance to meet in public, in person. So Raymond, was great meeting you.
I saw him twice. He was the only person at the whole show who dared to call me Din Din.
I only got to meet him for 1 minute while I was dressed as Jon Snow on an inflatable dragon.
Perfect. Raymond was wearing his Conquer's Bad Fur Day shirt, so of course. Joel is tall. Yes, I heard I heard that plenty while I was there. Yeah, but it was great. So P3, I mean, overall, I still would say my overall experience when at the show was positive. Talking to Jerry, very nice guy. Alex was the other guy that was there, very nice guy. Sorcerer's Apprentice, freaking hard game. And you're right, Dennis. You're missing your shots, and you're in trouble.
Yeah, I think Alex came up and started telling me like what I should be shooting for, because apparently I was failing a little too much for his liking.
Bill from Memphis, who is taller, Joel or Jack Danger? Jack is taller. He's 6'7". He definitely hunches, but he is. I mean, he's a tall dude, especially when he's standing next to a moto. I'm 6'4", but yeah, he's definitely taller. We probably weigh the same though. Jack is thin. He is just stretched. He is stretched. Kirk Hobbs, just don't stand next to George for too long. Yeah, there's a few of the other streamers that are not the biggest people, but that's fine. I will say Cheesy Buddha in chat. He's a big dude. I'm stood next to him. He's not small. Jobber's a big guy as well. Jobber was there here in chat. He had he was on the TPN stream that last Wednesday running the mic. He did a good job. And then he had one of his homebrews, which we'll get to the homebrews. That was a good time. Any other closing thoughts for P3? I mean, Dennis, had you played one before Expo or no?
Yeah, I play at every TPF.
Okay. All right.
I always give it a chance.
Joel introduced me to combos. Yes. Let's all take a moment real quick. Ray Day loves the combos. It's very clear because he coded Led Zeppelin. But
yeah, he did the airport modes, didn't he?
The airport modes, very, very critical modes to that game. But combos snacks, Ray Day had never tried a combos snack. Everybody, these things. He had never tried one. And there was a guy who was actually very generous. He dropped off a box of like snacks for the TPN crew. He even wrote a little letter like, thank you for your entertainment. Here's some stuff. There was Oreos in there. There were Nutter Butters in there. Jobber and I, we shared some Nutter Butters. But there was these little packs of combos and the pizza kind here. Ray Day had never tried one.
Didn't someone also never try Pop-Tarts?
Yes.
Who's that?
I know Jedi McMuffin has never had a
Jedi?
Pop Tart. He's
Jedi?
also
Oh,
Yeah,
crap,
we
should've got him.
forgot to force him to eat Pop
should have
Tarts.
done that. But combos, to anybody that's listening to chat, if you've never had a combo, go try yourself a combo. Dennis, you a combo fan?
I'm not sure what you're talking about.
These combos. Oh, I am showing. Here I am clicking around right here. I'm clicking around on my screen. These combos, baked snacks. Have you ever had these? They sell them at like every gas station.
I've seen the bags, but no, I have not.
Oh,
Yeah, those
treat
pizza
yourself.
ones are good. Oh,
I
Treat
usually
yourself.
just get gummy bears or pretzels.
Treat yourself. Thank you for the follow, by the way. Millenniax. Yes, they are. This is a pretzel with a gooey, not gooey. I mean, it's like a powdery flavored center.
It's
Yeah,
like
sell
easy
it
cheese,
harder. Yeah,
but
it's
hard.
it's like the cheese that's inside like rich cheese cracker sandwiches.
yeah.
They
It's
are
like
great.
real questionable cheese. It's probably not real.
I think you start
Yeah,
with
it's
the
rich
pizza.
cheese.
I think you got to go pizza for your first.
Yeah,
one.
pizza's the way to
Pizza's pretty
go. I would probably avoid the like buffalo wing
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, you didn't like that one.
Yeah.
There's like a 7-dip salsa or whatever that's really good.
Ray Day, you said I introduced him to you. What was your? I introduced him to you, but was it a good introduction or bad? That's the goal. That's the question here. But while we wait on that answer, new stuff.
I hope
Now-
he hung up.
Yeah. Now for Opia. Yeah. New pins. So Legends of Valhalla. First off, I find this very entertaining. You go to
Hot
AmericanPinball.com
Wheels.
and you click on games. There is no Legends of Valhalla.
The only need is Hot Wheels.
I know, but there's nothing like they don't even show it in
Oh, there it
this
is.
until you get to this, which is a little blurb that then says go to the Twitch stream. So I just it surprised me that it's not here in the game drop down yet. But
Hot Wheels.
Pizza One was great. Ray Day, I'm glad that I've introduced him into your life. So we'll go around. Initial thoughts on Legends of Valhalla. What Jordan, you want to go first? What was your experience with it?
It's fine.
It's fine. All right. I try to forget every bit of this game.
I only really got to play it at Interium, and I think that was another situation where they didn't have it set up quite correctly. I think from what I heard from other people that I also had the same experience with, that center ramp is harder to hit than it looks.
Mm-hmm.
It's like super early on either flipper. The artwork's okay, not super my taste. The ship mech seems pretty cool. It'd be nice to not have a clear plastic over it. Have something like maybe more wood looking or something. Just looks too toyish, I guess. And I wasn't super hot on the 3D printed parts, but like the magnet was cool.
The magnet is back here.
The drop target that has really nothing behind it is kind of odd.
This guy.
The bear.
It was just like a drop target to be a drop target. There was no other target behind it. There was no path behind it. It was just a post. So it was kind of weird to me.
Nick Pinsomniac, thank you for the sub, buddy. Thanks a ton, man. This mech, I'll get into that. This does not make sense to me at all. It's a drop target, right? And now I don't know enough older games. Maybe Dennis, you can think of a game that had a drop target with nothing behind it. But I mean, I'm used
The Larry
to
Brothers on Ghostbusters.
Yeah, but that's like in the middle, and it gets in your way, right? But like this, when this drop target drops, there's no rubber. There's nothing. You're literally just drilling a post. Like it's just two posts.
Goran mentions Cactus Canyon. That's a good point. They had those little dumb drops scattered throughout that game too.
Okay,
but there's
that's
a
like
purpose.
But that's like a bad.
Yeah, there
guy,
was a purpose,
yeah,
but
like
just in terms
four
of like
them,
randomly
like,
placed
randomized.
drops with nothing behind them. I mean, that's what.
Sure.
It was.
I guess if you have like a single drop out of the way in front of something that's not like a mid play field, like for Scaleri Brothers or Cactus Canyon, you would think there would be at least like some other target to hit behind it or a scoop or something,
right?
Like,
Maybe it has a good use. It's an interesting I mean, a single drop's an interesting bomb investment because of the coil and mech that you need for it.
Mm-hmm.
But okay.
But yeah, why they didn't just put a stand up target there, I don't.
Oh, people hate stand-ups. They're so cheap.
I know they do, but
stand-ups.
it's once the thing drops, it almost immediately kicked back up. Like it It wasn't a you hit the drop to clear your path to hit something else behind it, right? Like it's
No,
just
you gotta earn your Zerker, man. It's like the little vengeance drop on Star Trek. It's constantly popping back up before you can get all in there into the
but
ship
you
and
can get in
sabotage
it.
things.
But that's the thing is it's
Eventually,
blocking- Yeah. But what's behind it, Joel? You got to hit a post. What else do you
Yeah,
want?
what do you want, Joel?
What
I'm trying.
else do
I
you
don't
want?
understand what you want.
I think it's there for the pinball moment. Yeah. I feel like they should just have that drop always come back up. So it's like a stand-up target, but more satisfying to hit. I think that's right. I think it's literally what it is because there's nothing else behind it. It just that
There's a
confused me.
post.
There's 2 posts. There's 2. There's one here and here.
One thing to keep in mind also, this isn't an American game technically. It's just American produced.
Correct. This is
So-
Riot Pinball, right?
I as much as I love American, like and this is cool for them to produce that.
Mhm.
Like I can't just automatically say, oh, this is American, so it's great. Like I think I would maybe put this above Oktoberfest, but below Houdini, and Hot Wheels is obviously
Jordan,
at the
how
top.
much time did you play Houdini?
Probably about 2-3 games,
So
but it's still there.
I was trying to
The
I still like
understand.
the
tight,
I still
but
like the
findable.
theme, and like the layout is hard, of course,
Yeah.
but like the theme and everything else is still better.
Because I would say that this was probably more fun for me to shoot than Houdini was.
Mhm.
I'll agree
Because
with that.
Houdini made me actively angry.
If I found the shots, Houdini would probably be less aggravating.
It's the super, I think that what frustrated me was that it was the extremely narrow shot that you have to hit in order to lock your balls.
Mhm.
Like locking a ball for a multi-ball,
Yeah.
especially if you have to hit another shot before you lock a ball and it's like a toggling situation,
Mhm.
shouldn't be that hard.
I mean, doesn't mean that it has to be that way for every game.
This
I
is
don't
the
like it.
shot right here that she's talking
Um,
about on Houdini.
It's
This is the shot you
it-
have to hit to lock a ball, and it is not easy to hit.
Becca's mad that you have to have accuracy.
it's
Yeah,
not even
but
that. It's
That's to see
Monty
the
watched
coolest mech in the
me.
game. The catapult,
Like-
right? Yeah.
Yeah, and it's such a cool thing, and it was just a struggle to get there.
Yeah.
But Valhalla was not. I played the one at Interium, and then I played the one in in the expo hall, and the one in the expo hall was definitely tuned differently. At Interium, I struggled to hit the scimitar shaped ramp to the boat.
Yeah, this shot right here.
And whereas the one on the floor, I hit it no problem.
Yeah.
And I was just like looping it over and over and over and over again.
So
But I like the shots. The theme isn't probably for me.
mhm.
And I wouldn't say like there's the cabinet. The cabinet heard around the world. But I don't think that it shoots well enough for me to buy it, if that makes sense. Like I had a lot of fun playing it with Manu. Manu and I had a really good fun playing it together.
Cool.
Yeah, I definitely I see what you mean, and I know we were talking about this earlier that if you could have fun shooting a whitewood, you know you have a good game, and the shots are fine. It just there's nothing in these shots that like blew me away of like, oh, that felt amazing, I want to shoot that shot again. I will say there's a scoop right here that is very close, and that's how you start your mode. What is kind of neat is if you lift this flipper up, you can shoot the ball behind the flipper, and that's another way to get the ball into the scoop. I thought that was kind of cool. And then also there's this little loop right here, whoop, to go back into shooter
Yeah, the
lane,
Walking
and that's
Dead
another
shot.
way that you can do it. Yeah.
I like the Walking Dead shot, and I like the under the flipper.
The
I struggle a
middle-
lot with.
Yeah, this middle ramp, George pointed out, it's a very unsatisfying shot because it is very high up on the flipper, like way earlier than you think it is. Jordan had said that if you hit this where you think it is, I know I stepped up to the game with Manu before he had played it, and I said, he cradled up on this right flipper. I said, try to hit this in a ramp. And he shot like he would expect to shoot, and he hit the left ramp. I mean, that's how off it was. And by the time that you hit that shot, it has almost no energy. It has enough to make it around. And so for it to come back down this right ramp, it's very slow. I do want to say this before I forget. Jobber made this comment, and I was questioning what he was talking about. This is one of those things you're not going to not see after you see it. But Jobber pointed to this, the insert boner that this lady has. And I thought that was, I don't know. You can't not see it now. But
It's not as
I tried not to laugh when I saw it.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, but this art package, that and that derpy face, I just can't help it.
It's not as bad as the Hedge multi-ball lightning on on Halloween.
Dakota Mike, thanks a ton for the
So
bits.
bad.
Yeah, the insert
It's so
boner,
bad.
though, well done, Jobber, for pointing that out. And Fliptronic is giving, flipping out. So here's Zach with the bits for Dennis laughing. So hype train, Goran, no man, the insert boner can't start a hype train. That was not the goal.
I don't know what you guys are talking about. Who isn't hyped for an insert boner?
Oh boy, yes.
Oh,
I
I'm
saw
gonna. Nope.
Cause the arcade. Hey, it was great meeting you, by the way. Oh God, I didn't notice that. Yeah, I didn't notice it either. But
And once you see it, you can't unsee it.
You can't unsee that bad boy. Yep.
Yep.
So
But
Joel, what
I'm
were
just
your
saying that
thoughts on it?
It's the first thing I noted.
She's hung.
She's hung and she's
hung,
pointing
guys.
right to where that flipper is. Yeah. My initial thoughts, I would say the cabinet was pretty. I was impressed, from a distance when you see the thing, the gold powder coat, the printing is really well done. The back glass, a nice mirrored back glass. I don't love the art. I mean, I think you have artists in this, Randy Martinez and Zombie Yeti, that have set the bar incredibly high. Even GNR's artists, they're professional artists. It's what they do. They have set the bar incredibly high for how great art can look. I don't hate the art, but it's not to that level. It's not a selling point for the game, in my opinion. The guy who designed the game is also the guy that drew the art. So I don't know. It just didn't do it. The sound package, it's cool to hear Jeff Teolis, that he's the voice actor in this. What I would not have known that. Like, by hearing the sound, they've done enough stuff to his voice that it's not obvious that it's Jeff Teolis. Jeff
Teolis is a really, really, really talented voice actor, Joel.
True. I like the
Joel.
purple on the Kraken. The Kraken is great. I do like that purple. But I just couldn't tell. Like, you couldn't tell, but he said they purposely avoided saying sorry and about, right? So he was able to avoid some of the Canadian isms. But I would say, really, the thing that sticks with me anytime I step up to a brand new pinball machine is how it feels. And unfortunately, there wasn't a single shot that wowed me. This looping shot, we were talking about looping earlier with Godzilla. That is a fun shot to loop over and over and over again. This one was hard to find. And when you do find it, it doesn't loop around. It locks a ball. So it's just, you hit it and it goes up there and stops. So, I don't know. It was Jordan. I asked you first. What were your thoughts? And you said it was fine. And I'm kind of in the same boat. Now I will say, there were people like Manu played this some more, Pinsomniac played this some more, and once they actually started diving into the code, were really impressed by it. They said code wise, the code is pretty good. I will say that the animations aren't. I don't know if you can even really call them. They're just still images. So
It's the cheapest LE.
It is, but it's one of those things where if you're going to play double standards, right? Like Stern got ripped apart for their Avengers animations, and they were animated. Halloween is getting ripped apart for their animations. They're animated to a point, but like these are just straight up still images. And I don't know, people are like, okay, that's what it is.
Okay,
so
it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
It just sucks because compared to what else is coming out around it,
yeah,
it's not worth the high trim price, I think. I'll be curious to see what like the regular edition sells for. If it's at the same price point as Hot Wheels was, to where it'll be less than a Stern Pro, because then it'll be maybe a good decision for somebody. But
Yeah.
I think, between this and like a Godzilla or Cactus Canyon, I think this comes in at the bottom.
Dalton, how you doing, buddy? Great seeing you. Thumbs up for you, man.
Speaking of people who are tall, Dalton.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Dalton's a big boy. Yeah. I would say maybe in a tournament environment, maybe if that code is really as good as it is, maybe this game will be really liked by those types of players. But I will the truth is, I think if you stuck this right next to Godzilla, right next to Wild Dog, thank you for the sub, man. Appreciate that. Yeah, really, it was great meeting you, by the way, you guys in person. So thanks a bunch. What else? Brand new pins. Cactus Canyon Remake. Like, I don't know who would pick this over some of the other options right now. But there are plenty of people that are picking all the options. So, good on them. It did surprise me to hear. That, like, I was surprised when they said they sold all 300 in a day.
Mm-hmm.
And so now they bumped it up to 500. I'm not a distributor, but
That's shaky.
I didn't realize that these were
risky.
just flying off the shelf kind of thing. So
that there was a lot of hype behind the homebrew, and I think some of it is that they did their release, and for example, because they released it officially, I think back in 2020 during COVID, and it was something where I didn't know, and I think some of the other people who were like craving pinball didn't know back then that like Riot Pinball isn't a manufacturer just because it's like it's made by Riot Pinball, like, but it's two dudes. And like I thought that they were a manufacturer, so it was like, oh hey, here are these machines.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, when do we see these? And it's like, nah, there's 7. And it's like, oh, okay. But the internet saw it. The internet was like, that's cool.
Yeah.
I want it. So if you can ride the hype train of the internet and be like, we got this thing, it's the thing you all wanted a year ago, we made it, I could see that they could sell 300 of them.
Maybe.
Especially right now when people just really want machines.
They just want pins all the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dalton points out that this has the potential to be American Pinball's best 3-flipper game. I think that's an accurate
Not
statement.
2-flipper, because that's Hot Wheels.
Well, I think all their other games are 2-flipper, aren't they? No, Oktoberfest.
Oktoberfest has a third flipper.
Yeah. Well, that actually leads to a good point. This was made by 2 guys, and I do know that Dave Fix in their presentation said that they are planning. American Pinball is doing this. I think they're calling it like the American Dream thing. I don't know, but there was this call to action that they've given everybody a year, that they want all homebrew people to make a game, and in a year, like American Pinball is going to look for the next homebrew that they feel that could be a commercial success and have intentions of making said game. So
they just missed an opportunity to call it America's Got Pinball.
America's Got Pinball.
Yeah.
I never heard of that yet.
So I know
America's Got Talent?
The America's Got Pinball. I didn't.
No, I came up with that right now.
That's amazing.
I
was going to say America's Got Homebrew, but that could also be like beer. So I switched it to America's Got Pinball.
In talking to some of the homebrew guys, it sounds like it's kind of a detractor in some ways.
Why
I think it's a bad idea.
Yeah, well, so they think, their community is apparently really open, and they converse with each other a lot and bounce ideas off, and like if they have problems, they work with each other. And they do that because they're not necessarily having this goal of getting their machine produced. They just want to build it and have it work and show it off at the very least. And so this competition, they're thinking it's going to put some people underground and, be very hush hush and not want to work with other people and be as open sourced, which I could definitely see if you're, getting into this competition of getting a machine produced, you'd want to do that. And then they're also like, these things take like years to get made.
Look at the arcade. Think about how long he was working on that Metroid.
Yeah.
And there's also that Sonic that's available. That game is
Sonic was impressive. We'll get to that when we get into homebrews.
We'll get to that later.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they know how long it takes to make a homebrew.
My problem with it is it reminds me of when you see groups or companies say, "Hey, we want to feature your art in this game or something." Everyone do all the work. No, we're not going to pay you. We're outsourcing our designing. We're going to have you do it all for free and send it to us, and we're going to pick the best one, and we'll produce that to make us money. But we didn't have to support anything. We didn't pay for anything. You're basically cultivating this potentially cutthroat, but even setting that aside, competition of exposure to get the homebrewers to do the work that the whole point of hiring designers was to handle for you. So that's what I don't like about it. I think
if it were like a VPX competition, that might be a little bit better. But having a physical representation in a year of a title that you can't already have been working on, like
because of how it was, like if they were to go in, like if it was such as what Spooky did with TNA and just say, "Hey, look, we saw this homebrew, we want to approach you," that's one thing. Gauging it like this, you're basically asking people to deliberately get into homebrews in the hopes that their game will be built. And now, in theory, if you're American Pinball, you don't need designers anymore. You're just going to rely on this little thing, and you're going to suss through whichever one's the best. And you just saved yourself thousands of dollars because you're not going to hire any staff.
Zach's asking, was Legends of Valhalla a contract piece? No, I mean, I think they just picked it up. I don't think the designers are on
picked
salary,
it up.
right?
Yeah, and I guess in terms of Valhalla, I guess because I didn't actually, I played it one time. So my thoughts were.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say the geometry I thought was solid. I didn't get deep enough in to know the rules. The art's a huge miss. I mean, if you're alienating people because it's too violent on the sides of the cab, that's a commercial problem anyway. They probably should have changed that anyway. But even the play field itself, I don't think is pretty inspirational. In fact, I keep thinking that boat is some sort of stylized V6 engine every time I look at it with those little shields. And holy cow, were they going down left and right? American Pinball's known for their build quality, but Valhalla did not give that impression at Expo. I kept seeing more and more of them turned off.
Well, I think that's probably because the coding system, so it's not their code. That's the thing, right? So it's not American's code. It's Riot's code. And from what I heard, most of the code was not from these two guys. It was from the homebrew community. They heavily relied on other people to basically write their code for them. From some people that I talked to and kind of confirmed this, was basically it's spaghetti. It's one giant code piece. They haven't broken up anything.
Well,
it's basically a monolithic like code structure that's a nightmare to work on. And people don't want to touch it from what I heard. So it sounds scary in the background.
Pinball Profile with Jeff Teolis actually interviewed the two guys that as soon as this came out, he interviewed the two guys. And what I thought I heard them say was the code or the OS or whatever the code that the Riot Pinball 7 prototypes was written under is different. It's a different framework. It's a different framework than what American Pinball uses. So the main code designer for the game, every time that he was developing more, he had to write everything twice. He had to write it for the AP structure, but he's holding firm that he still wants the 7 prototypes that are out there to be able to do everything that the new AP games were doing. And the guy, what he had in his possession to test was his framework. So the guy's writing code on his framework, testing it, and then having to rewrite it in a different framework to then send to America to test. So it's this split.
So if American wants to do this thing, what they need to then do is basically hand out their framework to people. Because
an open API or something?
They should just do I know nothing about technology. But if they wanted to do that homebrew thing.
Apparently it's not hard if you program it on like Skeleton Game. They can adapt it pretty easy. But the problem was that this code base was a monolith. They didn't break it like different modes out into separate files or anything. It was basically just one giant code base, and that's not how you do it. So
I don't know. I mean, there's who here in chat. I know Jobber has his homebrew. He was there, and then the arcade Mark. He was there. Now, obviously, congrats Mark. JP picking you up. That's awesome. But I know. Sonic Spinball was there. Ryan, right? I mean, his game, it was fantastic, and there was a line all the time for people playing his game. So it's interesting that that Americans Pinball's basically saying, "Hey, bring us that next homebrew. We want to produce it in a year." And I know Ryan's like, I'm here right now. Like, come take my game, kind of thing.
Yeah, and I'll note, because I did see it in the chat. Kirk Hobbs felt that my view was very close-minded to the concept, and it may be. I may be overly close-minded towards it. I'm not doubting that the person who wins will be compensated, and he mentioned getting money for the design. My concern is for people who lose. And again, I just remember seeing artists. That's the one always sticks with me. Artists in particular complaining about these sort of gimmicks, and surely I'm not the only one who remembers like these things where they'll say it's about exposure, or we'll pay the ones we select, but then you basically have outsourced at zero cost to you all of the work that normally in pinball would be done by bringing on, like, you'd see the arcades work and you'd go like, I want you as a designer, and now I'm going to pay, and that's the gamble, is now you're a professional and I'm paying you to come up with designs. So I'm skeptical of it, but it may work and the homebrewers may like it, and I may be in the minority on it.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
I don't know. I don't know if him saying that, like, you got a year. I don't know how many people, like, that was enough to get them going, right? That was enough to like, okay, here's our chance. I mean, there are people like Mark here in chat with the arcade that, I mean, it's clear he built Metroid because that was a passion project. And in TNA, when Scott built TNA, like, Scott built TNA with no intention of it ever being commercially built, right? So I don't know. What this will be a great conversation to have in a year to see what people do.
I'm going to go with 4. I'm guessing 4 submissions. For
I was about to be like, Google, remind me in a year, but we don't have Google. So,
I do like the idea of using the homebrew scene as like a farm system to identify potential new professional developers. I think that's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
I'm just a little concerned about the making it a game instead of looking at like someone did this without any promise of anything. You want to run with their homebrew and pay them for it, no problem. And then ideally they become a hire, just like, I mean, this happened in the past. You know, Dennis Nordman did this.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even just with what we saw right here with Riot, which is they made a thing, and here it is. Like, you can make a thing and then say like, oh, that's cool. I will buy it and make it for you. And figure out all of the things of like, how much am I going to pay you? How much can I change? What is the license? Like,
well, I think we're in agreement. It's just a bad idea they're doing this.
I
some
know.
people
See,
at least listening seem to think it has potential. So we'll see how it shapes out. Maybe it won't be. Maybe it won't be a mess. I may be overly pessimistic.
But you look at the paper looks like. You look at the latest. I mean, Keith Elwin. I don't know if he would have ever been hired by Stern unless he would have made Archer first, right? So homebrew got hired. Jack Danger, he had a homebrew that he was building, got hired. Mark, right here in chat, the arcade, like, he had homebrew, got hired. So this walking resume, this physical resume, sure doesn't hurt. So if this is enough push of like, I enjoy pinball, I want to do pinball, as you know, I enjoy creating, I've thought about making a game. Well, here's just extra incentive that, you know what, if I actually do that now, there's a chance, or my chances of it getting made commercially are better than ever. I mean, maybe it is motivating, but I agree that I would also hate it to be a what's the word? Not negative, but like toxic, you know, thing that now homebrewers want to keep everything hidden and not help each other out. Because I mean, just seeing Arcade Mark standing right next to Ryan all weekend, it's clear, and he was saying that in chat, like they were cut literally out of the same plywood. You know, this is a team effort here. And helping each other out, and that is what it's all about, which is pretty cool.
If I were American, the way I would do this is I would say, hey, homebrewers, we'll sell you a cabinet, an assembled blank cabinet with a blank playfield that flips, and like an open kit. And like, here is basically your boilerplate to make a game. And then every expo will have a panel that'll assess your game, and if we feel it's worthy enough to make it, we'll make a deal with you. But like, basically, here's your kit, and here's your ability every year to check in with us and try to get it made. Doesn't necessarily have to be just this next year, or, you know, it could be like something like going forward every year. There'll be an assessment, and you get to use this. Like, so I'm surprised no manufacturer is making a homebrew like starter kit, basically.
Starter kit, yeah.
Yeah, like 3 or 4 grand for an empty cabinet. Well, basically an empty cabinet that can flip at least.
I know Zach flipping out. The first thing he'd do is change the head. He focused on the head and getting
They
it to
changed
look.
the head this year.
They did.
changed
The
the head
head.
this year.
The
I
head
don't know if you
does.
noticed.
It's not as curvy, but
No,
it's still.
it's still as curvy.
No,
The only
well,
thing
the
they
side
changed was the
isn't.
bottom tube. The bottom tube
Got
is
it.
no longer perforated.
Yeah. Yeah. Goran's just now figuring out the arcade and Mark are the same person. So well done, Goran. I'm glad you.
Yeah,
glad,
you only said it 4 times, Joel.
glad you figured it out. He's coming. He figured it out. But no, they didn't. I thought they. So Zach is still out on American just because he can't. He doesn't have enough walls in his room to have an American lineup. He cannot put the American in the same lineup as anything else.
And I agree. I think it was Jordan earlier. Yeah, the move from 300 to 500. I remember the blowback when Munsters added 100 LEs.
Yeah.
And actually, I saw multiple people confirm they dropped their Valhalla orders once that number went up to 500.
Yeah, you're just diluting a market that people were expecting a certain number of.
Keep your word. I think it's a pretty simple thing to live by. If you decide 300, and the reasoning they gave online, it didn't make any sense to me. Like, we didn't expect it to do so well.
Internationally.
Well, good. I'm glad it exceeds your expectations.
They said it sold out before half the world even had an opportunity to get it. And so that's why
Dakota Mike posted, we never intended to limit our limited edition. It's like, but it had a limit. And you didn't get rid of the limit. You just made a higher limit. So it's still limited. It didn't make any sense to me.
I mean, let us not forget, though, Stern did it with Munsters not that long ago.
And they got criticized as they deserved. It was hey, look, everyone wants this Franchi art package, and then, they caved, and they shouldn't have.
Yep, I'm with you. Last American thing to talk about, though, I did not attend, but Jordan and Becca, you actually had a chance to tour their facility. Do you want to fill us in on what you saw there, or overall thoughts?
Well, they would not let me get inside of the Hot Wheels cabinet on casters to race it down the hallway. Their insurance did not cover that. But it did inspire the question I asked everybody all weekend. But it was really cool. It was neat.
Well, you should ask the question.
I got to ask the question. You know, I didn't even think I got to ask Dennis this question.
No, you didn't.
Man, my hair is a shit show. Dennis, if you were in a soapbox derby race, but you had to use a pinball cabinet, this also includes the head. We'll take the glass out so nobody dies. What pinball cabinet would you use?
I would use a Gottlieb street level, like a Silver Slugger or a Deadly Weapon.
I haven't gotten those answers yet.
Yeah.
Do you want
weight and like wide bodies and pinball 2000?
Yeah, I got some wide
right?
bodies. I got some pinball 2000s.
Hercules.
Well, also just style. Like, what would you go down with in styling?
Yeah, like, are you going for looks and aesthetic, or are you going to make sure that, like, when you hit a thing, you don't crumble into,
Oh, I see. Yeah. No, I chose that because it's smaller. It would have less wind resistance.
There we go.
But
that's probably the
Goran
right
actually
answer.
drew me a picture
of
like a little human in a pinball 2000 cabinet with his like head poking. It was art. It was a masterpiece.
The tour was cool. We got to see Steve Bowden in his new environment and say hi to him. And we're sad he's leaving Texas, but
glad he has a job.
He was so happy when I spoke with him briefly, and he was super excited, which I'm glad. I'm glad he
none
landed
of us can blame him. Yeah.
But
That's
you get to see like all the assembly stuff, all their like parts walls. They pulled off a couple rotisseries of playfields in various states of being dressed up, and then like all their cabinet building area, and then we saw their stack of mess ups, their oops stack.
Oh,
so we asked for one,
because we're like, hey, we did that whole thing last summer where we played for like 4 months straight and like killed ourselves doing these challenges, but we never got prizes from them. Can we get our prize since we're here?
And they said, sure, what do you want?
They're like, what do you want? I was like, I'll take one of those playfields.
So what's oops on it? Like, what do you know?
So there is right here. Yeah. It's hard to see, but there's this big indention.
They tried to screw in a post.
Yeah, there's this like, it's just a big indention basically.
Which would have been under the ramp, but it's enough for them to say oops.
It's pretty divoted.
It's like physically
It's
divoted,
like a thumbprint. Like if you were to like squish
Got
your
it.
thumbprint into a playfield.
Yeah,
if you had a really skinny thumb.
It's pretty bad. So, but other than that, it's a nice playfield. So,
Neat.
Joel, you've lived in the world of chipped clear for too long. American Pinball does have standards on their playfields.
Well-
and they're consistent with them.
What do you mean? It's not flaking to crap. I mean,
Yeah.
come on, y'all.
I was
It's
trying not to be
entirely
too
falling
mean.
apart. It's fine.
Trying not to be too mean to the other manufacturer. But
True.
No.
I
yes,
actually
that
had
counts as an oops. It counts as an oops.
I
Joel.
had a very good conversation with Ryan, the guy at CGC, and talking about their printing process and the fact that they're still screen printing their playfields and the standards that they hold to. And we got quite technical because printing is my background. And yeah, it's great to hear that there are certain manufacturers that have extremely high standards. Others not so much, but that's, it is what it is. What are the printing lines? I need my art shipping. I will say, random comment on this, Godzilla-wise, when you look at a Godzilla playfield, they have that art pulled back from everything that touches the cabinet. So they're figuring out the secret sauce, right? Good. So American Pinball, all good stuff. I would encourage people if they see a Legend of Valhalla, play it. I mean, play it. But I don't know. It almost seems like they're going to blow through these and they're going to be on to the next title sooner than later. Hopefully, I don't know. It's not. I mean, it's still just.
Yeah. I think they might sell all the LEs. I don't think you'll see a lot of demand for their whatever the standard run is. I think you'll see more LEs sold, and then this might be a line filler while David gets his plans together and with what Nordman's working on and such. So
Because isn't it, if I remember correctly, it's 2 unlicensed.
yes,
And then something possibly licensed, or
something definitely licensed.
Something definitely licensed.
So we have another
And so
unlicensed to go, is what you're saying.
We have
Yes.
another unlicensed to go.
Which again we talked about and could totally be something that is like a license but is unlicensed, like
you mean
Sherlock.
public domain?
Public domain.
Oh,
Yes.
okay, yeah.
Like this is public domain right
Yeah.
here. Like there's
Yeah.
no,
right,
you
it's unlicensed, but it's an existing theme.
Okay.
Yes.
So it's not original, but
Sure.
public domain. You don't have to pay a licenser. There's no rules.
Makes
Yeah.
sense.
So that's always a possibility, at least.
Something old, something new, something blue. Yeah. Sears Snarf. Sears
Yeah, we're gonna
Snarf.
get
Thank you for the
Snarf,
raid.
snarf,
Exclusive
snarf.
Yeah,
game.
Sears Snarf. Pudding Pinball 3000. Yeah, good idea, Alan. Yep. I hope it's the Nordman sequel to Whitewater. I hope it's just Nordman in general. So.
And you know Snarf is Alex, right? That you met at P3?
Oh,
At the
got it
Lucky
now.
Market?
I know now. That's a fantastic name. By the
No,
way.
I just like to say schnarf.
Yeah. Well,
Sure.
Alex, you missed our P3 discussion, but it was good.
There's a vibe. You'll be fine.
Yeah, everybody can check this later. So moving on to another thing, another new. It's new because it's the
New.
remake, but not new in general. Cactus Canyon Remake. So that unveiled. There was a lot of Goran. You're here for the right time because Cactus Canyon Remake does have a topper. So let's review real quick. We talked about Godzilla. Jordan, you bought one. We talked about P3. You own one. Legends of Valhalla. It's fine. Cactus Canyon. You are buying this as well.
We have an LE on order.
Yes, LE. So
Thanks,
you're all in. You get topper and all.
Yep, topper and all.
Nice. So
Thanks, Zach.
Yeah, thanks, Zach.
Thanks, Zach.
Thanks, Zach.
let's give Zach
Although
some
Jordan
cred
hasn't
here.
shut up about a Cactus Canyon since, I don't know, Poland last year.
True.
Yeah, I'm not gonna play the audio. I'm sorry, but this video, by the way, was made by Zach Mini in 2 days. 2 days. He was called on a Saturday to make it. He drove up with Nicole on Sunday, picked up the machine, turned around and drove back. Monday morning, Greg Bones showed up, and they took all this beautiful footage. And then Zach said he sat in the chair for 26 hours straight. 26
And
hours.
canceled the pinball show.
Yeah. Which, how do you cancel that? There you go, Gordon. I'll stop right there for you.
This is why Jordan and I didn't have as many podcasts for our 18-hour drive.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, it's fine. It's worth it.
I felt like a dick,
We
to be
forgive you.
honest. We recorded Triple Drain Sunday night, and the whole point of Triple Drain was to talk about Expo. And normally Zach posts things, Tuesday, like it was on the TPN Discord. It was where is Zach? What is that? We saw TPS show was canceled, but it was just this like, where is he? What's going on? And at first you're like, oh, he's just packing. But then it was just like he was a ghost. And it wasn't until we saw Greg's post on Facebook saying, just film something with Zach, and he bought me shoes. It's like, oh, this is what so then it was a lot of, what's he doing? What's going on? But
we listened to the Triple Drain on the way back, and it was interesting to hear your predictions and already know the answers to all of them.
Well, there you go. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you listened. Thank you for the support. But, but here we go. I mean, we can freeze frame this. This game looks great.
No, just let it play. Let me just keep watching it. Yeah, just
Yeah, the art. I mean, I am a fan of the dots. That type of art. That's a dot matrix, but it's colored. I mean, that looks great. The Bart mech is improved. It looks awesome. I don't know. I mean, all the bells and whistles they made even whistlier. I don't know what the right thing. I mean, it looks
Joel, it is a goddamn work of art.
It's bright. That's the best part.
Dennis, you don't appreciate whistlier. You don't like that.
It's interesting that you have Bruceisms. There are Joelisms as well.
Oh,
That's
goody.
A Bruce Nightingale reference.
Wonderful. It's the train is all metal, right? And they got the tracks, but it is a vastly improved Cactus Canyon. There's no...
Yeah, for sure.
It is absolutely the nicest version of it. Now, the topper. I heard something about the topper where the topper is interactive, like a video mode, or it's going to be a video mode.
It's not a video mode. It's a physical mode, kind of. So if you had gone back to the topper where you paused it, you could see a bar of LEDs just at the base of it.
Okay.
So I'm gonna wait till you pause it here. But basically, when I think you have to hit the beer mug 10 times, the one that like pops up to qualify the mode, and then I forgot how you start the mode, but you'll have a lit like dot, and you can move it left to right with your flippers. So you see all those dots at the bottom.
Yeah, all of these individual.
So you can. Becca's Cactus Canyon cross stitch.
Oh, nice.
To say how excited we were about Cactus Canyon, I started this 2 years ago, 3 years ago. I get it up there.
It's not going to be zoomed in right, but yeah.
Here.
Yeah, that's a nice thing.
But anyway, so in those buildings, there's lit up people in the windows. There's bad guys and good guys.
Okay.
And so a person will light up, and you basically have to move the dot left or right to aim and shoot. And I think it's pretty quick movement. I didn't get to the topper mode myself, but I do know how essentially how it works.
Zach, there's
it's a shooting
in
gallery.
the video that shows this, right? I'm not missing.
I don't think in the video, no. Yeah. I don't know if they had it programmed in or not, but they were talking about it in the live stream or the.
I just like how his arms go backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards.
His arms go 360, and it's like a Linda Blair head spin, but with arms.
Yeah, but would that mode not be in the? Only the LE has the topper, right? So
only the LE has the topper, but they did say they're not sure yet if they're going to produce it for the SE.
Got it. Okay.
So it is a possibility. They just haven't said yes or no either way. But yeah, basically that light bar is control of aiming, and you're shooting people in the windows as a shooting gallery. So, well, it'll be interesting. I never got to try it out, but
real quick, is this the best CGC topper? Right.
Out of CGC toppers, it's interactive, so I'd say it's pretty damn good.
Black Knight is just molded with lights, right? But Attack from Mars
and it
bounces
talks
up and down,
to you,
and,
right?
Monster Bash, does it move? I don't think it moves, but it looks great. Wait, we got the Topper King sitting right here, Dennis.
We have the Topper King and the Topper Apprentice, and we won't say who is the king and who is the apprentice.
Well, Dennis,
because they'll have to duke that out.
Yeah, so really, Dennis is first, right? And this is his opinion is what matters. So, what are your thoughts currently on this? So, do you think this is the best CGC? And yeah, we'll start with that.
See, what game or what?
No, Topper, just Topper.
I guess it depends if you're. How value you are with interaction. I would say no. I think the Attack from Mars topper is their best topper.
Okay, and
because if the goal is to catch the eye from across the arcade, it's so loud and noticeable that it usurps all other toppers they've done.
Gotcha. Okay, Goran, This is your moment, man.
Goran, we pick you.
It's your time to shine.
I choose you, Goran.
Goran, is this better than Attack from Mars?
And why?
And why? Do you agree or disagree with Dennis? I think the toppers need to be critical to the gameplay experience. Oh, so, and this is freaking critical. Strong disagree. Okay, all right.
Use 5 little radio buttons to the left or right.
Strong disagree. Okay, that's fine. Maybe we need a middle. Zach, flipping out. Here we go. I know you another strong opinion. Where are you at? Team Dennis or Team Goran here on this versus Attack from Mars? We'll let Zach collect his thoughts. I know he's not nearly
that was
as
your
fast as
present, Jordan.
Yeah.
It was great.
Thank you.
Team up. Yeah, I am really curious. I mean, when I think toppers, I know Zach did a whole bracket, but Dennis, to your argument, it's supposed to pull in people. Well, what about, the Batman topper with the bat signal? I mean, that you can see completely across the room. So Zach, CGC topper is only second to Black Knight Swords of Rain. So Zach disagrees. Sorry, Dennis, you guys you could duke it out on the pinball show.
There's nothing to argue. People that need to justify $1,000+ are going to turn to things like integration to make them feel like they're not just buying a bunch of cheap molded plastic. So whatever lets them sleep at night.
This is a good. I mean, it is a good topper. There's no denying. I mean, it looks really cool, and I think the mold is pretty cool.
Look at that.
They spin all the way around.
Do it again. I want to see the arms go again.
Hey, guess what? You're gonna.
I find that arm movement unrealistic.
Yeah. Wow. It's only
his torso also flings back. You don't see it in the video.
Joe Hills.
But when you hit like a bad guy, he like.
Why is this video so bad? Why is it not showing us anything important?
Yeah, right.
Hi, Joe Hills. Hey, yes, we made it home safe.
How many hours did Zach spend doing that smoke transition instead of just filming us a moving torso topper?
What I will tell you is he's missing the 2 key shots in all pinball reveal videos, which is the hands on the flippers. Bop, bop, bop. You never got the touching the flipper button, and we never got the awkward plunger pull that starts every single stern reveal video. You have hands touching flippers and somebody pulling. That's all he said. Yeah, the 360 arms. I don't know. It's whimsical, right?
But also, how nice is that apron?
The apron,
that, wood apron.
The apron stood out to me. The apron did stand out to me. You see that when you look down at the machine, like just walking by. The apron is wood, and then a lot of. Yeah, we don't do hands. It's straight down the middle. Okay, that's.
And also, like the train track stuff
is metal. It's.
Well, the train tracks looks like a train track. How it has the cross wood beams.
Yeah, that's
only on the LE, and then the little mine cart on top of the mine hill is also on the LE.
Sure. Now I do know. Kerry Hardy just put out a video on YouTube. Spoilers. He said he bought a brand new game, and his thumbnail is of Godzilla and Cactus Canyon. He picked Cactus Canyon, but he went with the standard edition. He felt like the LE there wasn't anything that he couldn't or a modder couldn't add.
Didn't he see the topper with the torso 360 arms?
Yeah, it was. I don't know. It didn't do
Look,
it for
my
him.
arms don't do 360s very well. If I'm gonna have arms that do 360s, they might as well be those.
You do tell us. my dude. His wife and daughter picked it. Joel, correct. Kirk Hobbs. So he was between it, but his wife and daughter were all for it. Marv is here. Travis Loco, how you doing, buddy?
It shot so nice though. Holy crap! That game was It was so nice to play.
Yeah. I mean, I'm happy for him. I am curious if this is because I know that they have full intentions of releasing their own licensed theme or their own game. So is this kind of a let's get this out the door and move on to the next? Do we know? I mean, are there any other remakes that are planned that people are, Zach, do you have lists for other remakes that people are talking about? I don't know, but
I think Zach keeps potential lists, and everyone just sort of makes up what they want. So there's all sorts of potential. Now, all of my information indicates that there are no other remakes currently planned.
So this is wood, and then these are metal. I mean, it is a very pretty machine. And to be honest, the bells and whistles and everything in this, it's relatively cheap compared to LEs and some of the other stuff.
This game.
Yeah. So they are. I mean, they sold out. They're done. You know, they're gonna
And,
make them and move on.
I was looking, and they have really done. So normally, I feel like for LEs, it's like they're always gone. You never know where to find them, and then you end up, and then people flip them, or like sometimes just like even distros will like flip them or price them higher. And what I liked today was I saw there was a guy who was trying to sell one for like I think $2,000 more than it was supposed to be. And Chicago Gaming was like, hey, no, if you see a distro flipping their LEs, they're not going to get LEs anymore.
Oh, wow.
Like, yeah. And I was like, holy crap.
They seem pretty strict about their allotment and being able like preventing selling slots.
Yeah.
And like changing over names and stuff. Like if you pre-ordered under a name, you're sticking to that name.
Like,
yeah. Well,
so they're locking in to keep flippers from flipping like in a bad way. And that's just really nice, I think, after the whole like Godzilla LE onslaught and like just the LE scramble to begin with. So it was just nice. It was just nice to see
that they're stepping up like that. Dakota Mike, oh man, I hope they don't stop with completely with remakes. I did see that. I saw there were people that posted that in a few forums that, I mean, they're in for every single remake, they're all in. And I mean, we'll see. I mean, it's
I don't mean to convey that they would never do remakes. I guess to clarify, to my knowledge, CGC has 2 more games in the pipe. One is a brand new original theme, and then the other is the, and by original theme, I'm sorry, it's a licensed theme, but it's not a remake. And then the other is the Ben Heck. I'm assuming also licensed theme that they're kind of doing in collab with Spooky. That's the one after their first original. So, and I don't know if they have anything in the works after that. That's
I'll be curious.
Given their pace of production, that's going to be a few years. So,
yeah.
Okay.
I wouldn't know. And will they screen print the playfield?
I would assume so. I mean, that's, what is it? CGC, they what is it? They're grandfathered in from another, what previous company, but whatever it is, it's just like they are going to keep doing things the way they're doing. They make a great game. I don't think anybody complains about the quality of the game they make.
Shoots the closest to a Stern than all other companies, in my opinion. From playing it, the Flipper Power was the better of, compared to like American, Spooky, or anyone else.
So, I don't know. Dennis, does this excite you at all? Or what's your...
I mean, it looks a lot better than the original. But that being said, I've played a lot of the original, and I have no interest in this layout.
So, what about the other code? I mean, obviously, Jordan, Jordan and Becca, you guys are buying one of these. It has come out that Lyman and Josh Sharp are coming together and writing a 2.0 version of this code. I've also heard they're not releasing the code until it's finished. So we all know Lyman's not exactly known for doing that quickly.
But maybe Josh is faster.
maybe. So there's gonna be, when Medieval Madness came out, you could order a standard edition without color, and then if you wanted to upgrade to color, you had to buy a chip. And I'm assuming the code is going to have some sort of hardware. It'll be on a chip. It'll be something. They're going to try their best to keep this from being pirated. So it makes sense why they would wait, because if it's a hardware component, I don't know how easy it'll be to update that. But what are your? Do you care? I mean, if it's going to be a year before you see that 2.0 code, do you? I don't know. As an owner, do you care? And also, how much are you prepared to spend for this 2.0 code?
2.0 code, I think, will probably be between 500 and 1,000, and I think that's acceptable. Depending how deep the code is, how much of a new game it is, I think that's fair. That's pretty much on par probably with what Multimorphic's doing for a more in-depth game, like how they did with Sorcerer's Apprentice.
Okay. $500 to $1,000. Because I was assuming, well, I think the color, just adding color was going to be $300 or something. That was at least with Medieval Madness. I don't know, Dennis, what do you think is an acceptable price to pay for 2.0 code?
I mean, in today's market, I guess they could price it whatever they want.
Didn't they say there's going to be physical upgrades too with that?
I don't know. I
Like-
mean, that's a lot of the speculation kind of, and I've assumed much along the lines of what Joel was saying, that that would be mostly for security, like a DRM style,
Yeah.
to avoid, just a physical upgrade solely for the purpose of trying to prevent piracy.
But I mean, what if it's like a Bride 2.0 situation where you replace that whole back panel with a more square LCD kind of animation style?
I mean, obviously,
with other
functional
physical bits
hardware,
on it.
right? Functional hardware, I think, is going to help. It would help people rationalize if the price is, say, over the $500 mark. Because to me, I'm actually looking at the non-module, like, what's the most expensive non-module P3 thing? Is it Sorcerer's Apprentice at what, 500?
Yep.
So anything over 500 to me is already too much because your competition's priced lower, and that was a full-fledged game. But it depends how much deeper is this really going to be? And that's I'm not sure yet whether Josh and Lyman are going to be modern era deep 2.0 or just here's like 90s level but proper competition balanced, just badass sort of 90s though still. In which case I'd be like, I don't know if it's worth $1,000 for some
I
code.
think it'd be cool if there's like an upgrade kit where it replaces the back glass with a video screen.
I
Keeps
don't
the
know if
DMD
they
in a
would
way.
though. I think it's
You never
gonna
know.
be. I don't know anything. I just think it's gonna be. I would assume it's just straight code. I could be wrong. But Joe Windrader, which once again, great meeting you in person. Why didn't they just price it $500 to $1,000 more from the get go and include that? And I also, I mean, I've heard people say like it's ridiculous that LE buyers will have to buy this, right? I mean, they're already.
I'm not sure why they did it the way they did it, but what does confuse me is why they don't know the price yet. There's got to be, you have to have an outline for what they must know internally where the code in an outline form is going to go. And you can't blame COVID and shipping containers and the price of wood for why you don't want to announce your price, because this is all software. So I think the price at the very least should be known. I could see if they're thinking high, they're thinking $1,000. There may be some people that are happy with just the baseline code that still want this, because there's a lot of cool stuff in this game. I can see plenty of people that would say, I don't need the Lyman Josh experience. I'm a homeowner. I'm not going to be playing this in a tournament. And that's what those two are known for.
How much is a Cactus Canyon Continued used?
I thought I saw on Facebook today somebody said it's like, I don't know, original game, still $10,000 game. I don't know.
Yeah, it's because it's super.
With the Cactus Canyon Continued.
Oh yeah, are Lyman and Joe still negotiating
with
their
that add-on,
salaries?
and it doesn't have a topper,
Yeah.
and that's already going to be more than what this is as an LE with a topper. Plus, if you add on $1,000 with additional code, that's still probably going to come in under a Cactus Canyon Continued.
I'm watching chat scroll by
So-
and all of the pricing discussion, and like $500 seems like a lot. $500 doesn't seem like enough.
It's just an expensive nostalgia game, and the people who want it will pay for it. And I think if they want to play the expanded code, they'll pay for that too. So,
Yeah.
It just
Might
depends
be
on the
everybody.
person. But, if it was me, I can't help but say, hey,
Sure.
I know Sorcerer's Apprentice. I know what it's got going on in it. And even though it's not my type of game, that's set a value at $500, and there's a lot in it. And so that's what my proxy would be. I mean, because P3 was first out the gate with this, letting you just download a game and put it in. So I probably wouldn't buy it if I had this. That would be my initial thought, is I probably wouldn't get the expanded code. It'd just have to blow me away.
Yeah,
But that's assuming it's like $1,000. If it's not,
I'd get it just because I think I'll get the return on investment if I ever sell the game with the expanded code.
and I could see that. It's just I have limits on the amount of cash I'm willing to outlay on a game. So
I gotcha.
Good point. It really just depends on how. I mean, if it is a drastically different experience, then sure. But if it's just like I don't know, it adds a little more depth or it's more rule balanced. It really just, it's kind of a wait and see situation. I thought Hot Nudge made a funny comment, which is, are Zach and Lyman still negotiating their salaries? Is that what we're waiting on? I don't know. But it's cool. It's I was impressed. What I saw was, I was impressed. It's a beautiful looking game, but then again, every remake has been that way. And I get it. If people enjoy the game, if people enjoy Cactus Canyon, I mean, it's been out for years and they've enjoyed it, then jump on this and get
maybe it'll be a true Raw Thrills big buck hunter, and it'll just be $40 a month.
It'll be a subscription for the new code.
Subscription.
Yeah.
Oh
Oh
boy.
my gosh.
All right. Well,
I like somebody who mentioned $500 is an Xbox Series X, and I'm just
I
kind of
know.
like, do we need to talk about what $500 can buy you? Because we don't need to talk about how much I spend
$500
every
is half
year.
a topper.
Yeah.
Half a topper.
$500 is 2 hair appointments for me. So I'm like, $500 is we don't get this. So I'm just like,
Manu.
$500 can buy Joel some Fliptronic brand bathwater.
ew, gross.
Oh boy. MPT3 Cray, another amazing individual. It was great meeting you in person. The only reason I kept playing this video over and over again is I was just trying to get Zach as many views as possible. So I don't know if that is embedded or linked, but good luck, buddy. Yeah. So that's, I don't know. Anybody want to put a bow on our Cactus Canyon discussion? Dennis, go for it. You're a good bow tire.
Yeah, it looks nice. I think there's some substantive upgrades versus the original game that are going to appeal to a lot of people. Probably even more so than Medieval Madness and Attack from Mars, if for no other reason than most people haven't ever even played an original Cactus Canyon. There just weren't very many.
Yeah, good point. Good point. Let's get into. Before I forget, there is a guy. His name is Bob. Outlaw Pinball. Outlaw Pinball is a new pinball apparel company. And he approached some of us and was just like, "Hey, do you like how this looks?" I said, "Sure." He goes, "Here, take it." So
he didn't approach me.
Well, you were hidden, right? You were just walking around and
yeah, I was in stealth mode. Like, what am I? The Red October? What is this?
Yeah, but I don't know. I was just I was flattered. I don't know, to be approached. So Outlaw Pinball, they're brand new. They had a booth. Feel free to check it out. It's more pinball apparel. Yeah. So homebrews.
Oh, Manu's here?
Manu is here. Manu, hilarious, dude.
I owe you one, Manu.
They were scaring each other all throughout the expo, just running up behind each other and spooking each other.
He's the man. Homebrews. So we were the place where the flipping out booth was. Right next to it was the TPN booth, and we were right next to the homebrew row. And it was pretty neat. It was really cool seeing, these guys that have poured so much time and energy into that project, and then to see, lines and people wanting to play it. It was also really cool seeing like industry professionals play their game, and you know what that means for these people. Oh, this is Jordan's ice machine, by the way, if you guys were wondering what it sounds like.
Did you not mute yourself?
It sounds like big cubes,
It sounds like the mic is in the ice maker.
Am I not mute?
Yeah. Am I not on mute?
No, am I muted?
I don't, Jordan? No, you're not. You're not muted.
Not muted?
Yeah.
No, you're not muted.
Yeah.
Should be muted now.
Now you're muted. Now
Okay,
you're
now I'm
unmuted.
unmuted.
There you
Sounds
go.
like a
Well, if
bullshit.
you
Look,
didn't,
microphones are hard, all right?
look, man.
Sorry, I thought I was muted, but
No, you're all good.
Nice maker
Yeah.
sound effect.
So homebrews,
ASMR or something.
just initial thoughts. One of them I'd love to talk about was called what was that called? It was called Gods of something.
Greek Gods.
Greek
It was
Gods. Greek Gods.
God,
What
that
a
was cool.
kooky game. But what was really unique about Greek Gods, I don't have anything pulled up, but what was really unique about Greek Gods was in the middle of the playfield there was a lower playfield, but in the middle of the playfield the guy had taken an LCD screen and that had no backing to it. And so he put this LCD screen in the playfield so you could see through it to see the playfield underneath. And the playfield underneath represented essentially hell. So if you ever went to the underworld, you had the ability to bounce the ball around in there. But he was displaying stuff on screen, kind of like a P3, where you're hitting, when you hurt certain targets, like there was a bat mode and a bug mode, where when you hit certain things, all of a sudden you see the bugs explode and whatnot. And boy, I mean, it had a ridiculous light show. It had some really kooky music. Another thing it had was this horseshoe ball that was kind of like a cafted ball, but when you'd hit it, it would go all the way to the other side of the playfield. Well, what was neat about that is there was a center ramp with a diverter. So depending on where that ball was, it would divert the ball to a different ramp. So just some really cool and unique ideas. Nick, Pinsomniac, the knee button. Did we ever learn what that did? There was a big blue button on the coin door that
I have no idea.
Nobody ever
Yes,
pushed.
it disables your. He was there. I talked to him about it. He was talking to us about it. And basically, it diverts the power from your flippers up at the top near the pops to keep it up at the pops longer, which I don't remember what the goal was. Anyway, but you have to remember to unknee your button, or else when your ball comes back down, your flippers are dead. So I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah.
And
Let's
it
use slings
switches
as
to
flippers.
flipper pops.
yeah,
up top.
flipper pops.
Oh.
It switches
Flipper
to
pops up
that.
top.
So like you can keep going, but like if you don't remember to unknee,
You're in trouble.
like
That's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
yeah. It was like a super crazy.
It
Now, what
was.
if you don't have knees though?
It was
That'd be
super
hard.
kooky.
You can hip it, you know.
A random
Have somebody hit the knee button for you.
random side tangent. One thing I did find unique, and I'm curious what you guys. Back to Legends of Valhalla. Legends of Valhalla had 2 flipper buttons on the right side, and the question was, what does the other right button do? And I
An action button.
Yeah, came to learn later. It's basically an action button. There was a point in the game where you could like drop a hammer and do stuff. Do you guys like that, having the action button near your finger instead of being dead center of a lockdown?
Yes, I think that was better.
I don't know. Dennis, do you have an opinion on the
yeah, it's
location of
fine.
an action button?
I mean, no.
It's a double-edged sword though, because then you don't get any color indication of
It's,
things.
Yeah.
being
I mean,
ready.
yeah, it's like, I like the action button the way Stern does it, in the sense that you know when it's ready, which is
Okay.
very, very useful. Also, I think from a gameplay perspective, there are certain times where I think you want the player to have to decide, do I want to take the risk of moving my hand and using it? So, like, I didn't like that for Black Knight Sword of Rage, because I don't think it makes sense to have a Magna save in that fashion, especially compared to the historic games. But if you're talking about, like, think about the heat ray with Godzilla. I mean, the whole point is that wouldn't work nearly as well with if it was off on the side. So
because you have to charge it up, like, and same thing with like Turtles Pizza Party, like you got to bam. I mean, it wouldn't be the same thing to just.
And yeah, I know some people get mad about having to smash TIE fighters or whatever, but you know what? Pinball's just not for them.
Yeah. Do you like pushing glass doors or pulling? Similar concepts to Instinct. We expect it on the lockdown bar because of its turn. I agree. I did notice that with Legends of Valhalla, when you go to select your mode, I would like pick the character I want to battle, and I smack the center of the lockdown bar. There's no button there, but it's just you're so used to doing that. Select your mode and confirm it. I don't know. That was one of
I see some people saying about using chins or heads, and I remember seeing Zach Sharp years ago do that for Star Trek, and that's how I fire my photons, is with my chin.
Nice.
Yeah, Becca was doing that with Heat Ray the other night.
Yeah.
With charging.
It's just easy. It's right there.
Yeah. And it would, obviously it would be back
I
to
can't do that
homebrew.
for TIE fighters, though. That really hurts your teeth if they're like, you can't. Yeah, just long button presses only.
Dennis, did you play some of the homebrew games? And if so,
I played a couple, yes.
What stood out to you, or what were your experiences with them?
Well, one of them I played was Ghost in the Shell, and I did speak to the creator about that one. That's got an interesting, that one, there's a lot that's still not in it, so it's hard for me to get a good feel. I think the main feature is that like that ramp that can be entered on either side. So it's kind of like it's a ramp, but it's 2 ramps, but it's a merged ramp. So I think it's an interesting idea. I didn't have enough time on it to know if it's well executed or not. But I know there's a lot that still needs to happen with the code. Now, I'm biased because I really like that theme, though. So because it's based off the TV series Standalone Complex, which I watched. So
did you enjoy the Scarlett Johansson version?
It's okay.
Okay, it's okay.
It's fine.
That's fine.
It's not worth seeing, but it's not terrible. It's not like a Rozzy worthy movie.
A fun Whitewood to shoot that I found a lot of, or that I thought was a lot of fun to just shoot as is, was the Castlevania one.
Yeah.
And that was
Lauren
the other one I played.
Lauren podcasted about it.
And I really liked how the Castlevania one played. I liked the double pop bumper thing they got going on. The way it integrated with the video. It just shot really interesting too. So that one actually really stood out to me.
This ramp that they're talking about, you shoot it up here and it actually loops down and then spits the ball back out at the bottom, or you can shoot it from the bottom and it spits out at the top. So it's a unique shot for sure.
That's a really clever layout. I'd like to try it again when it's got more rules in it.
So let's see. I was not prepared for this. All right.
You wrote the guide. You wrote the notes. Why are you not ready?
I know. I'm too lazy. Justin's Castlevania has nice layout. So what were you saying about this that you really like? You said these double pops over here?
Yeah, that's just it's a neat thing because if you're trying to shoot the orbit.
Yeah.
And obviously it's very unusual positioning, but you know that it's also got kind of a crowded back center with things to go for. So
yeah, lots of shots back here.
And the right flipper was pretty cool. There were some good tight shots to try to aim for with that. That weren't like
the upper
super difficult, but were like there's that little scoop there, kind of like off to the right of that left orbit. Yeah.
So that you can loop that around, or you can hit this scoop, or this center ramp, which goes behind the back box, or this horseshoe ramp, or cap to ball. There's a lot.
It was really smooth, and all the geometry felt pretty well laid out. So I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah.
And also the left tuck away area was a good challenge.
Over here,
on the bottom there, yeah.
Another scoop. It's a unique layout,
but it's a target. It just goes in there and comes back out.
Oh, cool. Looks really clean. I was just so impressed playing a lot of these homebrew things at how, there's so much to it. There's the geometry mechanically needing to get the game to work, but then the fact that these guys are adding music and code and lighting, I don't know. It's impressive. Can we get a jobber shout out for Dumpster Fire? Dumpster Fire was a hoot. There's no denying.
It was off when I went to play it, so I didn't get to try that one.
Yeah, I didn't get to try it either.
What else do
we did see, though, Jobber's really cool lift.
Did they review Sonic yet? No. So Sonic...
well, he'll know what I'm referencing. It's fine.
Sonic Spinball is impressive.
I did not play Sonic.
Oh, that's like a real game.
Yeah, don't get confused. There's also Sonic.
Pinball machine.
Yeah, the pin jack.
The pin
jack. Call it the pin jack.
The pin jack. Yeah. That was cool.
I don't know how I'm going to pull up a picture of this. My impressions with Sonic, I was impressed. Ryan did a great job. Do
you have Ryan's Facebook or stream?
His stream is, what's his stream? It's like the Octa something. It's a unique name. Does anybody, somebody smarter than me, if they want to.
Isn't it like something McSquid, right? Is just Ryan on his
McSquid, it makes something
Squiddy, or I don't know.
Sonic was impressive. Beautiful. The light show is great. It shot really easily. That was something that, and I know McSquid, that's what it is. I know he said that he purposely made the game in a way that anybody could shoot it of any age. And I experienced that. What is this? It's McSquid.
I don't know. Definitely not McSquid.
And can viewers take bits away from you? Because at this point, they probably should take the bits away.
What's great is anybody that's listening. Thank you, Dennis, for your honest opinion. What really is great is anybody that's listening to this like a podcast. I respect the heck out of you listening to that. All right, so this is dark, but let's see if we can pause it when it's
like Attack from Mars and AIQ had a baby.
Oh.
Yes, light show is impressive, very impressive. What all he's put into it. Now I've got to give the arcade and Ryan credit. Both of them have coded in TNA to their games. So I don't know if you knew that, but that's
CFD. It's not TNA. It's CFD.
Yeah. And being able to play both of their games to experience TNA was pretty clever because like the whole concept of completing a keypad and locking up all, it's all there, even though the layouts are totally different. But this game there was a line for this the entire time we were there. And I understand.
And it won Best Homebrew. Right?
Yeah. It did
win the Best Homebrew.
This is a 360 ramp, like an actual like loop-de-loop, and boy, it spits it out so fast. It's really impressive, and all I can hope is, I don't know how, even if it's possible to get the Sonic theme or the Sonic license to ever make this, but I hope Ryan gets hired by somebody.
I sent him for his seminar, for the homebrew seminar.
Yeah,
he was hilarious.
Yeah, he was hilarious. But he had an interesting thing with Sega is that Sega will let you use their assets without hassling you, as long as you're not trying to make money on it. They're just like, here's all the assets, use them however you want, and it's not a problem. So I thought that was really cool of Sega bringing their IPs.
It's very impressive. There's a lot of unique ideas here, but to be honest, just the build quality of his game and the playfield was beautifully done. And he's put there's a lot of code in this game. I mean, I don't know. I all around just thoroughly impressed. And yeah, it felt finished. That's what Jobber's saying.
Yeah.
We'll see.
That's not your alert, Joel. I see you looking. That's not yours.
Oh no, I didn't. Yeah. Is there? That's a whole nother thing. If anybody really wants to see a game being built, I mean, both the arcade 5Rs and Ryan here, they've almost streamed the entire process from start to finish, so you can see all of it, which is pretty impressive. But so Dennis, you didn't have a chance to shoot it. I mean, you can see like this orbit; it's massive. I mean, it's a huge shot. So a lot of these things are definitely
that looks like what you were hoping for with the building in Godzilla from our earlier discussion.
Huge, yeah. Did he spend a lot of time with David Fix over the weekend? I mean, I hope. I don't know. I don't know what type of conversations he had. I did know. I mean, I saw when I stepped in line, I realized the person I was standing behind was Eric Minier. So I, just kind of let Ryan have his moment with Eric, showing him the game and. Just watching Eric play for a little while, his flipper skills are impressive. So, I hope. That's all I can hope. That I mean, this is a great resume. It's impressive what all he's done. And then
I drowned.
You drowned on one of the water.
Yeah,
levels?
he told me I was like one of the 3 people who drowned. And I was like, yeah. I was like, cool.
I think my best score on it was like 28 million. I don't know how good that was.
I don't know. I just know I was impressed. Like the more I played it, the more impressed I was with just the overall layout and how it's shot and everything. So, and here we go. He's in chat. Mark, a recent hire at JJP. So
hey, look, it's BAO.
Yeah, this is impressive. This was also very impressive.
Obliteration.
What I do think is really one of the things I really enjoy. This game sucks. I'm serious. Ask me why. Mark, go ahead and tell us all the things you hate about your game. There's a kicker right here. There's a sling that kicks upwards, and I know that he was talking about how in Metroid you're jumping platform to platform. So this idea of hitting a ball up, it ricocheting, and then needing instead of a flipper to kick you further up. This kicker kicks it up. I mean, it has that feel. It has that feel, which is really, really, really cool. And this upper flipper shot is tough, but it kicks this ball way up. And then there's like 3 lanes, so it can go different paths. He's done a ton of different things. I mean, unique back box with this infinity mirror. It was another fun game to play. Dennis, did you have a chance to play the Metroid game when you were there?
No, I did not.
Okay. Jordan and Becca, did you guys try it?
Yeah, I tried it.
Yeah.
I creeped. I watched a lot of people play it.
Nice.
I creeped. I did a lot of creeping. I watched a lot of people play, and it looks really cool.
Yeah, it's impressive. Cool. And I
needed more time on it. I definitely wanted to shoot it more.
Yeah.
Yeah, arcade. You got to bring it to TPF, right?
Dude.
Right. Totally not far at all.
I was confused playing Metroid. Need to spend more time on it. I mean, any new game, right? But they've put a ton of code into these games, and I don't know. It's impressive for sure. Is that a Mastodon shirt he's wearing, by the way? Good choice there.
Where'd he go? Come back.
Yep, Mastodon. All right. Hopefully a Pentastic in a few weeks. Yeah, I don't know. I was just impressed, and that's where overall. I mean, I think it's great what, wow, Goran. Goran is a fan of, this is all Goran over here in his chat. Goran.
Yeah, holy cow, stalker much.
Yeah. But I don't know. All together, I had a lot of fun and was really thoroughly impressed with, if this game gets made, it will have 4 ramps and 4 flippers. Spoiler alert. 1, 2, 3. Oh, so we're adding another flipper. Shoot.
It was fun having all the homebrew stuff right next to the flipping booth too.
It was really nice.
Super convenient. We had like our own and Multimorphic was close by us. It was like our own little arena.
It was
I will say that was where the party was on Saturday night.
Oh, on Saturday
with your pogs.
Wait, Saturday night? Yeah,
Saturday night. We started a new expo tradition.
Yeah, pogs, you guys.
Pogs on the floor.
Pogs on the floor.
we are officially in the everything else category. One everything else I will say, and Becca is repping the medals. Pinball Olympics. Pinball Olympics is Pinball Life sells it. But holy crap, Pinball Olympics is at this dude's house, Banger J on Pinside. Absurd collection. He's built an entire another house next to his house to add more games. And all these games are tweaked in some fashion to make them more challenging to play. The two games that I won medals on, one of them you had to lay down in a harness and they literally raised you in the air. And the game, it was Avengers, doesn't have legs. It's suspended by cables. And so you're just trying to play. And never played a game like pinball like that. It was awesome. I got the
that strained my neck
on that.
That one.
It was
I told you not to hurt yourself.
And then the other one I played was a Quicksilver where they the entire game, they put it in a wide body cabinet, and so the entire playfield was literally oscillating back and forth like this while you played. I mean, that's not. It's just ridiculous. It's everything you played. Becca, you have medals. What all did you play?
I do. I have several medals. Jordan, what medal did you get? Tell me again.
I got a participation medal.
That's right. But how many medals did I get? I got 3 medals. Let's see. So we'll start with my bronze. I played Rob Zombie through what they called, I think, the periscope.
Yeah,
it's basically reverse binoculars.
It's reverse binoculars, and you can't see the DMD, so you're just
it was
hoping.
You can barely see the upper playfield.
Yeah, I couldn't see the upper playfield at all. So I was 3rd on that, and then I was 2nd at Champion Pub with boxing gloves.
Yep.
Which experience paid off because we played AIQ and stuff with Hull cans.
Yeah, but those are much more squishy and way less
but
sweaty.
Still having stuff on our hands.
Because I could still get my fingers through the squish.
We've done it before.
I could get my fingers through the squish to get to the buttons.
Okay.
And then, but my gold medal is from from TNA on the rotating platform, which spins you around and around and around.
It was in his garage.
She stole my
the
lock.
Whole game.
You know what, Jordan?
She stole my lock, and that's how she got gold.
You know what, Jordan?
So
you shouldn't have lost it.
Half that gold is mine.
But
right.
No. But you shouldn't have lost it.
That's a team goal.
Shouldn't have lost.
No, it's team gold. I fed you points.
Pinsomniac here in chat. He had 2 golds. One of his golds was in a. It was like one of the dollar bill blower machines, but instead it was throwing ping pong balls and other balls at you, and you had to wear a hard helmet. Well, the reality was, if you it was just a distracting environment. But he zoned out, straight zenned out in this game. He played Kiss for 30 minutes and actually put a high score on the game.
It's $500 million.
Yeah, he crushed it. Just apparently the best way for Nick to play from now on is to have people throwing ping pong balls at his head.
Yeah, one of them made it into my jacket pocket and I brought it home.
Oh God, the Xenon. Are we even going to talk about the Xenon? Is
the
that allowed?
Xenon? No, that was kind of. Friendly? I think you had to experience that to really know.
Okay.
But Dennis, I know you weren't there, but all I can say is, I would highly suggest next year you and Tony give that a shot. Pinball Olympics was a blast. It was a riot for sure.
So much fun.
It was so much fun.
So my personal favorite was the Metallicas, the Linked Metallicas.
Yes. That really opened my mind too.
Because we didn't play against another team of 4. We just split our team into 2 and 2. Mm-hmm. And so my first opponent was Becca.
Yeah.
And I learned that, I just have to hit this little shot here on the left to tilt the other person.
Yep. They had the fuel shot, which is kind of a tough shot, but it's that shot on the left side. If you hit the fuel target, it tilts the person's game beside you. So you're racing to tilt the other person. So satisfying.
Guess who tilted all 3 of Becca's balls in less than 5 seconds each ball?
Yeah, it was so much fun. And then they had a Dark Knight, a Batman the Dark Knight, where the Gordon target, which is kind of right next to the orbit, which you need to hit. If you hit that target, boom, instantly your game was tilted. And I don't know, it was just stupid little edits to make the games harder, but it was fun.
Oh, yeah, Nick's talking about the Bronco.
Oh, the Bronco, yes. So the other gold medal that I got, the Bronco. There's a freaking mechanical bull with a Bronco mounted on it.
Yep.
And there was an operator there, operating this thing. Now, it wasn't going crazy like a mechanical bull. It was mostly just spinning and tilting a little bit.
Yeah, but you were having to walk around the game.
Yeah, you have to walk around it. Nick
almost rolled the game, the score. I mean, he crushed it. their treadmill. Kaz actually, they did a treadmill where you were at a walking place, and at the end, they actually turned it all the way up 10 miles per hour. So Brian Cosner there was literally sprinting in front of this thing for a while. I was, good stamina, but I don't know. It was great. Everything else, I would say anybody, Mechanical Bulls, Joe Hill's ridiculous. I mean, all of it was amazing.
It was $80, but totally worth it.
I would encourage, because there was food. The tacos were some of the best tacos I've ever had. Were good. There was free drinks there. I would just say anybody that's planning on going to Pinball Expo next year, set aside, make sure that Saturday afternoon.
Ladies, there was a shirtless man wandering around, or just people who enjoy shirtless men.
There was
a shirtless guy wandering around.
Tacos were amazing. Joe Windrader, those tacos were so good. How did you get tickets? It was sold. It was advertised. It just,
Pinball Life.
Everybody that's listening, anybody that's hearing this later, remember next year, Pinball Life, they sell tickets. There was only 100. It was either 80 or 100.
It was 100.
Yeah.
It was $80 for
market.
100.
Market as a market as a to-do.
Someone named George and Manu slept too late to go.
Yeah, they did miss out
because they were up partying all night.
I do wish that they would do it on a Sunday, though.
Yeah,
I wish they would do it on a Sunday.
To give you a reason to stay later.
Expo, it's like tear down.
Yeah, Sunday everybody's torn down and you're ready to go, and so I think that it would be a lot of fun to do on Sunday.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we're at the end here. Everything else. So, Dennis, do you have anything that we did not cover that you experienced at Expo that you'd like to bring up?
No, I think we hit on everything that I remember.
Great. Jordan and Becca, do you guys have anything I'm missing?
Let's see. Scorbit had a little bit of presence there. That was cool.
Scorbit was there.
Was able to talk to Jay. That guy's really smart. Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah.
Becca got her way into a free sweater or hoodie and shirt out of Jay.
I just asked.
That guy's bright, and they have a lot of goals and plans. And I don't know. It was great meeting him and talking to him. Meet Jobber. Yep, did meet Jobber. That was a thing. We did do that. Tournament thoughts. The tournament stream was fantastic. There were a lot of people picking Godzilla and whatnot, trying to, I don't know, some of those guys are just so good that they're trying whatever they can to, even the playing field. But the tournament was really well done, and Tom did an incredible job streaming it. Someone won a blue plushie. Yeah, I remember that. That was Extra Paul. He was carrying that around.
It was great just to meet everybody and be able to actually chat with both other people that we know through the streaming stuff and actual people in our chat, and it was wild. So
Gerbon 2018 Godzilla Pro or Premium. We talked about that earlier. I think we're all on board that the Pro is a fantastic game, but the Premium is the way to go. You're kind of settling for a Pro, to be honest. And that's not, I'm a Pro buyer, but boy, the mechs and the Premium are very nice.
Top notch. I guess, I don't know if you wanted to talk about Scott's house. We
had a chance.
Pretty good.
There were a few of us. He had a very small gathering at Scott Denisi at his house. Him and his wife, Sarah Rose, could not have been more nice. They were incredible
super nice.
Guests. And we Fliptronic streamed from that. You guys can go watch the VOD on that if you wanted to. But he had a real unique collection and super nice people. Super nice. That's all I can say. My dad actually asked, "Did you meet anybody that was that was different than you expected?" And I remember thinking Scott was. I knew he'd be nice, but I wasn't expecting him to be just such an amazing, genuine person. So yeah, nothing but respect for that. But I met some great people. Dennis, met you in person. Obviously, everybody on here I met in person. It was awesome. Ate a lot of deep dish pizza. I had that 2 nights in a row. It was really good. Yeah. Yeah. Anything else? Anything before we wrap this up? I realized we're already. Normally I go to midnight and it's 12:30.
I mean, it was. Oh my gosh. Let's see. I mean, I got to do women's tournament. I got to do Battle of the Bells. I talked about that for a little bit. It was super fun.
The
costume contest.
Crap. What was the guy who had all the EM mechs spread out across the table?
Oh, that was cool.
That showed how all the different little things worked. It was
remember.
Right near the stern area.
Yeah, I don't know his name, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
I forgot what that area was called. It was pinball something. I don't know.
I don't know, but that was cool.
That was really neat. I like that a lot.
That was unique to see all those. Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, Pog Slammers. We got Pog Slammers.
Yeah, Pogs. Bring your Pogs next year.
Yeah, bring your Pogs next year. Let's see. But no, it was just super fun. I had so much fun.
The event center was cool too. That was our first year doing it there, from what I understand.
We just need to throw the hat around for donations so I can come to TPS this year. Oh, because you're in Australia, Kirk Hobbs. Yeah. Just to wrap that up, I would say if you haven't had a chance to go to any sort of pinball event, obviously COVID really sucked, but now that's, I don't know, things are changing. If you have a chance to go, but just make sure you're going, like, hopefully you're going to meet people. Even the, employees, like, to see, like, Zombie Yeti was there and Jack was there, and I saw Dennis Norman. I saw him. Dwight was there. I mean, everybody's welcome.
Did you get to talk to Dwight, yes. Joel?
Dwight was a ball of energy. I mean, he was awesome. But if you're gonna go with that mentality of like, I can't wait to meet people, and everybody I talked to was nice. It was just, yeah, it was all around a good event. Played a lot of pinball, not a ton, but played what I played. I enjoyed all the games coming out. Were a ton of fun, and big thumbs up for me. We'll gladly go again next year, for sure.
Yeah, you should come to Pinball
TPF.
Festival. You should come to TPF.
That's not quite the drive that I had before, but I would love to.
Flights are super cheap, like right there. We'll pick you up from the airport, Joel.
That, I will.
Look, if we can do 2,600 miles round trip to Chicago,
you guys are not normal though.
You can drive out to Texas.
All right, well let's wrap her up. Plugs, Dennis, plug away, man. Plug whatever you want.
You can always hear me over on the Pinball Show, which is on the Pinball Network, with Zach, who is the other host of that. And I'm also on Eclectic Gamers Podcast, where Tony is the other host on that one. We're over on SoundCloud for that, if you're interested in easy podcasts.
Easy. Way easier than streaming. Way easier.
Yeah, but way easier.
Yeah, not even the same level. But Dennis, appreciate you, man. Appreciate your content. Appreciate you being here and throwing some smiles every once in a while. That was even when bits were thrown your way. Yeah, it was great. Not as easy as pinball though. No, yeah, right. Fliptronic. I'll say that. Jordan and Becca, plug away.
Do we have any plugs?
Yes. No. So we are going to, yes, we have plugs. We have plugs.
No, there's nothing to talk about. What are you talking about?
We are going to be down at Houston Expo, not this weekend, but the following weekend.
2 weeks.
So we will be there. We, I think, have an actual panel that we will be doing.
Oh.
So you want to stream, now what? And I think we actually don't even have a working title, but
who's on that
Kirk
panel?
Hobbs, because I agree. I probably
who's on that panel besides you guys?
Us.
Oh, okay.
And whoever wants to join us. Okay. Whoever wants to join us, who streams, who's in the opposite group, because there's two groups. There's the red group and the blue group for the tournament, and if your group is playing, then you obviously can't be on the panel.
We're blue group? I forget.
Anyway, I think we're blue group. Anyway, I don't remember. So we're doing that, which is cool. And then our normal stream, Tuesdays and Thursdays. And then what?
I just speak like Beaker from the Muppets. I'm like, hell yeah, that'd be hilarious. We're gonna stream the new Godzilla Premium tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh, and we also still have a Metallica.
Oh yeah, we got a Metallica.
We got a Metallica right before we left. We literally downsized, and now we have no more space again. So there's that. And then other than that, you can also find me podcasting with Lauren over at Backbox Pinball Podcast. I think she just she put out the episode with Rachel Lilly, who did the commentary for the Super Series. And I need to I don't know who we'll get for our guest for our Expo wrap-up and our Houston wrap-up. Oh my gosh, there's so many things to do. Anyway, you can also find me with Lauren over there.
Awesome. Well, yeah, and I'm Joel. This is just another pinball stream. I will be streaming tomorrow night on the Flippin' Out channel, so feel free to check. That'll be 10 to midnight Eastern Standard Time, and then I have my podcast, which I haven't done one in a while. I need to do that, and then Triple Drain podcast. Feel free to listen to that.
Why would you be streaming in Eastern Standard Time when it's still daylight savings?
Oh Lord, you are. Yep. Yeah. What's the proper term, Dennis, that I should have used?
Why don't you just say Eastern Time?
Eastern Time, 10 to midnight Eastern Time. Who are we going to raid?
I don't know. My phone's over there. It's
Well, this
far
is who we
away.
got. Colorado Pinball has 33 people. We have 31, and then we got Cal Pinball 6, Flipstream 5, and then everything else. So anybody at all have a preference? I'm looking
Chat,
in
where do you guys wanna
Cal.
go?
Goran wants to go to Cal. So we're going, that's what I'm assuming, Colorado Pinball? No, Cal Pinball. Cal Pinball. All
Cal
right,
Pinball,
let's do
playing
it.
Lord of the Rings.
Let's do it.
My
I'm gonna-
princess.
Cal
Oh my god.
Pinball. Joe Hill, thanks for streaming. This was fun. Dude, appreciate you, man.
It was really good to meet you, Joe Hills.
Yeah, we got to meet Joe Hills on our way back.
Yeah, the VOD is still
Yeah,
up, by the way, for you guys. If you
Yeah.
want to watch us and Joe Hills play Godzilla for 3.5 hours.
We pulled
Yeah.
up in his backyard, like unloaded the Godzilla, played it, packed it back up in the morning, and
Well,
headed back.
we're going to go ahead and raid, but I appreciate you. This will go up on YouTube, so if you're not here now or you want to check back to the beginning, yeah. And
Oliver, what
Dennis,
is your problem?
Becca, and Jordan, thanks a bunch for being here. And have fun and say hi to Cal Pinball.
Say bye, Oliver. Say bye.
See ya.
It's like feed me.
All right. Let me go ahead
And that's a wrap?
I think that, let me go ahead and stop streaming.